Peace to the saints. This is the first time anyone's come on with the idea that they would debate the big homie. So we really, wherever you are, give this woman a round of applause because she's more brave than any of these other alpha males that you know on the internet. So shout out to her.
Wow.
So I'm going to try my best to refrain from cooking her. You dig? But we are going to make sure we send her home with a little bit of game. You heard me? So shout out to all the saints who have been present. What I'm first going to do is allow Annalicia, and your last name is pronounced Chemin?
Chemin. It's French.
Oh, go ahead with your bad self. Okay, we'll talk about that later. So we will yield the floor to Annalicia to introduce herself, and then I will introduce the debate topics, and then she will maybe give a little backstory on how we ended up chatting and how we put this together.
Okay, thank you for giving me this platform, first and foremost. My name's Annalicia Chemin. I live in Toronto. I'm a student at Ryerson University. I write. I don't want to really give my resume. But yeah, that's about all there is.
Okay, we gonna spice that goddamn intro up next time. You heard me? We gonna spice it up next time. Let's get a few little background questions so we can get a sense of you. So first off, you're in Canada, aka fake America. That's all good. I love Toronto. I've been up to T-Dot myself. I've actually been to Ryerson. I went to a conference there. And your last name is French, but you're in the Anglophone part of Canada. So tell me more about that. I just want to get a little background before we start cooking.
Okay, so I mean, I don't subscribe to what you said about Canada, but you know what? We all have opinions, especially Americans.
Right.
But yes, my last name is Chemin. My mom is half Afro-Canadian and half French Caucasian Canadian. But she was given up for adoption. She never lived with her family, her biological family. So that's the only thing her mom gave her, and her mom is white Caucasian.
That's deep. So her mother is white, her father is African of some sort, or did they never marry?
No, they were never married. He was already married. So
player.
In the 60s in Winnipeg, that was biracial or half black was not okay. So yeah. And he's African American. So they were in South Carolina. Wow. They were in the Midwest, and then they came over to Saskatchewan. They came over to Toronto, Ontario, all over Canada.
Okay. Well, that's what's up. Thank you for sharing a little bit of your background with us. That was really neat. So you're essentially half black, half white then, huh?
No, my dad is actually Trinidadian. He's Afro-Trinidadian, not Indo or Asian.
Okay.
So my dad looks like you.
Your dad a handsome motherfucker then, girl.
He's okay.
Yeah. Quit playing with it.
He's okay.
Yeah. Okay, well, good. That's what's up. Shout out to your family and those beautiful genetics that you have. So you got some pluses working in your favor so far if your daddy looked like me. Now, can you give the saints a little bit of background on, how did you end up here?
So you sort of popped up in one of my suggested videos, and I'm continually trying to learn and grow and evolve. And I said, you know what? This looks positive. This looks revelatory. Let me click on it and see what happens. And I think the choice of words sort of triggered some pushback in me.
Oh.
So I had to make a comment. That's usually how I am. If I hear something that I don't agree with, I'm going to verbalize. I'm going to express it respectfully, usually. So that's what I did. And then I sort of went through your channel. I've seen your videos before. But I didn't go through the channel, and I really didn't take heed to some of the titles, whether that's clickbait or not, but they do seem to be a bit divisive, and you seem to be creating or perpetuating the paradigm of, one sex, one gender versus the other, rather than sort of breaking that perpetuation and creating a sense of unity and a sense of true identity. And I say true identity because it's very nuanced and people think they know everything, but it's complex.
Well, to all of the people watching, I want you all to know that I like Annalicia. Is that the right pronunciation of your name,
It
Annalicia?
is. And I'm
Okay, good.
impressed because no one gets it right the first time. So thank
Well,
you.
hey, I get a lot of things right the first time, you heard me, but we could, as I said, get to that offline. But
Okay.
while we're online right now, I think the thing that the viewing public should know, this is a very brave woman, because I would be scared to debate me in general. And in her case, this will be good because you're in graduate school right now?
Yes.
Okay, so she's in graduate school, so she is, by all accounts, an academic and theoretically should be a rational person, able to analyze information and think in a linear way, which is certainly something that we promote within the SAS. And so that's a beautiful thing. Undoubtedly, though, there is this curious difference between male and female thinking. Saints, you often know I tell you to shut the fuck up sometimes, whereas her first instinct, she said, I wanted to express myself. Well, now you didn't express yourself, and we're going to figure out what's what. So the first thing I thought you point out that was really interesting is you said that my words were divisive, and that's ironic to me. So I need to understand, because much of my work is about repairing relations between male and female. And a big piece of doing that is we first have to know what a male is and what a female is. We both have to be in our lane. So once we get in that lane, then we can repair how we interact with one another. And to go to age-old knowledge, like Confucius, he's one of the foundational thinkers that points out that we all have a role in society. That is how you get peace, when everyone knows their position and they don't get out of it. So unlike most in the manosphere, you won't hear me disparaging women in general, African-American women in particular. But what you do hear me speak on are women who are harlots, women who are degrading to society, and women who are themselves degrading to what feminists should be working toward, which is the full inclusion of capable women in the society. So will I talk greasy about these raggedy women who call themselves Instagram models, who want to have an OnlyFans page, who engage in immorality and filth and are lonely mothers as a result of their misdeeds? Absolutely. But will I disparage women who are honest, who are upright, moral, and loyal? Absolutely not. So if you've come on here to defend these hoes, oh, it's going to be a long night in the office, love. Talk to me.
Okay, so first and foremost, when I say divisive, my working memory is not great, but I will.
What you been smoking? Weed?
No, I don't smoke. I don't drink. But
Masha, that's beautiful.
It's a genetic thing, unfortunately. But my work memory isn't great. But there is a title that I remember, and it was "How to Sell a Woman a Dream."
Right.
And it's just general information or misinformation, dare I say, in some
Whoa,
cases.
you dare.
Of sort of the dynamic between men and women. So a lot of the things that you are saying, I agree with you. But here's my problem with what you're saying. Mm-hmm. You're focusing on the individual's behavior rather than focusing on the environmental, the social, and the economic factors that cultivate behavior, because it matters. You can't say, listen, write these people off. They are, they're not good for society. Instead of looking at what's cultivating this behavior, you're indicting the human, the person, for reacting to the environment that they have been sort of raised in. So to me, that's where you and I are going to deviate. And I'll be here all night if that's where you want to go.
Hey, don't worry, love. As long as you can take the spanking, I'll be here all night to give the spanking. So number one, it's always wise if you can quote someone, especially if you say your working memory is not the best. You might write down and say, Marquett, you stated blah, 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 blah. I'm in disagreement because of X, Y, and Z. That would be a good thing to do, because in your case, you have the advantage that you can quote me directly from things I've recorded and immortalized on video. Right. You haven't done that, and I don't blame you, because if you were to quote me, you'd find the verity of my words. So, for example, there's a difference in my approach and your approach. Your approach is you're trying to be an academic, an idler, and you're trying to explain why this broken woman is broken. You're trying to get understanding and sympathy for this broken female.
So does that not matter?
My dear, I would be thankful if you might let me complete a sentence. Okay. I tried not to interrupt you.
Go ahead.
Thank you very much. Truly appreciate it. So you are identifying the problem and looking at the background, the root of the problem, and that's all fine. However, I'm highly confident that the social scientist has been working tirelessly to identify the problem. There, however, have been a lack of real people working on solving the problem. So now you're saying we need sympathy for why these women are broken. We need understanding. I think, oh, that's cool. But what I would rather do is get to work on mending these women, healing these women. And in actual fact, I have a whole organization focused on not only the healing of the male, but also the healing of the female. Our female side of things is called the Lady Saints. And all we do is work on building those women back up. So I think it's really important that when you point out something that's maybe not right or maybe divisive, you first have to understand it. And number two, you have to look at, A, what are you doing? And then B, really understand what we're doing. So we're actually taking action to build up women. So where do you find issue with that?
Well, I mean, do you see incarceration as a whole? Do you see it as a viable remedy to criminality? And I'm going to answer your question. I just want to know what you feel, what your answer is to that.
It sounds like you're going on an analogy, so I'll play along. Do I see incarceration as a remedy to criminality?
Right.
No.
Okay. So that's how I align my feelings about it. So what I think is, if you're going to trivialize what a person has been through and the systems and the inner workings that are creating an environment in which people don't become, we're not born this way. We are socialized, right. We are conditioned. If you're going to trivialize, or you're going to say, look, don't focus on that as much as you focus on what you are now. First of all, it's a Band-Aid approach similar to incarceration. Second of all, it really doesn't, you're saying you want to bond, you want to fix, but you can't align fixing something if you don't acknowledge and work on the issues around, because that person is going to come out of the situation with the same systems around them. People don't change. We are who we are. It's the environment that needs to change. And when people feel like, when people feel like, no, everything is an individualistic thing, it's on you. That is why the larger systems at play are not held accountable, because of this individualistic way of thinking, rather than saying, you know what, these things are tandem. They are hand in hand. One last thing that I want to say to that is, I really do struggle with your whole, you know what, I have this whole thing and I'm doing, and I really do commend you.
Can I address your first point before you go to a second point? Is that cool? Okay. All right. So I first want to point out that the audio popping issues are from the lady doesn't have headphones. So you're basically hearing the feedback from me talking, and that's understandable. I didn't ask her to have headphones. So if we were ever to do this again, the lady would have headphones. So please forgive us for that. If it becomes unbearable, let us know and we'll just end the stream and perhaps do it another time. So please forgive us for that. Now, let's go ahead and get back to this work. You basically have said, we need to understand the systems. It's all the systems in the environment. We can't change individuals. We have to change everything around on the planet Earth so that the world is nicer. The world is easier for these individuals. Well, here's the problem. Oh, in tandem. We got to change both at the same time.
Right.
Okay, yeah, that's called victimology. Yeah, you're a victimologist. And let me tell you why you're a victimologist. And I still like you on an interpersonal level, but I got to destroy your ideology, because it is the root of all of the laziness we see today. It is the root of all of the complaining we see today. And it is a hyper feminine ideology. And this is the exact reason we should not have women in positions of leadership, because they don't take responsibility. And it's called personal responsibility. Personal, meaning as an individual. Now, let me show you how wrong you are. You want to say all of the systems are the reason that people are in straits, are in disrepair. No, that is not the case. It is not. There's no system keeping people down. And you should really be ashamed when you're in Canada, which is one of the most pleasant, nicest systems on the whole planet Earth. Now, if the system was getting people down, How is it that I grew up in Section 8 government housing in Los Angeles, in poverty, literally grew up in the same project as another kid with the very rare name of Marquett? We had literally the same demographic background. I had no father. He had no father. My mom was on drugs. His mom was on drugs. I lived with my grandmother. He lived with grandmother. Let's talk about systems. We were under the same system, but personal responsibility, personal decisions, personal values, personal choices lifted me up out of poverty, and it left him in poverty and eventually incarcerated. Why is that? Because the individual mindset and decisions matter. So what you should really be doing, instead of complaining about things beyond your control, beyond your influence, beyond your locus of control, is you should do the simple work of reaching out to people who are within your influence to teach them to change their behaviors. Because I've never met a crack addict who was a crack addict because the world made them a crack addict. They're a crack addict because they don't have coping ability. So if you teach that individual how to cope with the real world, then they will be able to thrive. And that's exactly what we are doing. Academics like you give a lot of lip service because you are a coffee shop revolutionary, a talker, not an actor. And within the last year, this 1 year, I've done more than your whole university of professors have done for humankind. And that's not even including the fact that I started working with youth when I was 16 years old and been doing it ever since. So that's just letting you know, when you try to blame the whole damn world and society and environment and system on individuals making bad decisions, you remove all responsibility. That's why women are not leaders, because they don't want to step up and take responsibility. They want to blame other people. And thank God we don't have a woman leading this country.
Is it my turn?
Absolutely, my dear. Thank you for being patient.
You know what? I can't decide whether you're a comedian. You know what? I'm gonna go.
I'm a little bit of everything.
I'm gonna follow your lead. So here, I have a lot of points. Let me gather my thoughts. First and foremost, you want to talk about women not being leaders. Let's address that, because that's an interesting take. There's no validity to it, and statistically, there's no validity to it. And I'm going to tell you why. Because the amount of single mothers that are leading their households are disproportionate to the amount of two-parent households. So if you want to talk about women not having leadership, if you want to talk about women not being able to take on the burdens of society, economically, socially, culturally, in any realm that you want to discuss, you have no dog in the fight. Because what men do when the leadership gets on the shoulders and when it really gets the tough gets going, they leave. And statistically, historically, women are overrepresented as the head of the household. They are overrepresented in single motherhood, and they are overrepresented as being the breadwinners. First of all, okay? Second of all, to what you were saying, you're not going to weaponize education. And see, this is the problem that I have. You're not going to weaponize education and tell me that because I am educated, there's no validity to what I am saying. Because regardless of my education, what I'm saying comes from my life experiences as a woman living in poverty, living in a single parent household, comes from my experiences and my plight. It has nothing to do with my education. That knowledge was there long before I ever stepped foot in any academic institution. Secondly, the only reason that I'm able to, you might sort of write it off as academia, is because when I go to school, I'm able to put the name to the experience. I'm able to say, okay, this is what poverty is. This is what it looks. This is how it's manifested in my life, in my childhood. This is how abuse is manifested. But this is the word. This is the word for it. It's just a name to a face. So don't weaponize my education. I'm not going to weaponize your education, just like I'm not going to weaponize your gender, your skin color. We're not going to play that. You're smarter than that. Don't be a punk. Third of all, you want to talk about, oh, you live in Canada. So first of all, this is how I know you don't have any true understanding of history, the Caribbean history, the Canadian history with respect to slavery, with respect to poverty, because Montreal was the last province, was the last in all of North America to abolish slavery. And that was not too long ago, my friend. And that happened here in my neck of the woods. So you need to have a little bit more understanding of the Canadian diaspora with respect to slavery, with respect to poverty, because obviously you feel like Americans are the only ones in the fight, which they are not. And my father is of Caribbean descent. And I know for sure you have no idea about the Caribbean diaspora with respect to that, because it has, I mean, the American, it has nothing on that. So the last thing that I'm going to say to you is, because I can see what you're trying to do, and it's
What
a
am I
very,
doing?
it's a, you're, I don't want to say you're fighting dirty, but you're,
Oh,
no, hold on, let me finish. No, let me finish. I let you talk. Let me finish.
no, I'm loving it. Go ahead. Tell me.
I think that when you get to labeling people and that's what you're doing. You're pointing your finger at me physically and you are labeling me. I don't subscribe to labels. So
What
you're
did I
not,
label you?
there's nothing that you called me, you were sort of trying to trivialize my academic background. You're talking about my Canadian nationality.
Oh no, I love Canadians. Shout out to
That's
T
not what
Dot,
I'm
as I
saying.
said.
I'm saying that you are trying to use it as a point to bolster your argument. What I'm saying is you don't have any real understanding of Canadian history and racism. If you did, you wouldn't think that you could weaponize it, because you would have an understanding that racism was live and well in Canada.
I was never
here
talking about
than
racism.
any other place in North America. The last thing that I want to say to you is, and I don't want to fight dirty. I really my blood pressure is raising.
Fight how you got to fight, baby. Go ahead. I can take it off.
I'm okay. So the last thing that I want to say is, you talk about, oh, no accountability, no,
right.
People have no personal responsibility. You're talking to the wrong demographic.
I'm talking to you.
Biracial women of color. Let me.
Which one are you? Are you black, biracial, or women of color? Which one?
Men have the lowest standards of parenting of any gender, you can point to absolutely anything, and the standards are so low. The bar is so low, and you're telling me about personal responsibility. You're telling me about accountability. When men think that they can half-ass parenting, men think that they can that I mean, if I'm working.
Can you wind it down? You kept saying your last point. You've been going at length, so I'm being respectful, but do you want to wind down on your point so I can respond to you?
My God. Okay, you know what? The last thing that I'm going to say is, you're taught with respect to personal accountability, and don't try to cuckold me, or don't try to what's the word? You're not going to try to scapegoat me into a pseudo ideology that I don't have. I did not say blame the system. I said you have to have an understanding, because the journey is as important as the destination. So if you can acknowledge the journey and the systems around you, their inner workings, and how it's cultivating the individual, the journey, the destination is not going to matter.
How many people are working on understanding the journey? You and academics around the world can explain how they've studied why poor people are poor. The journey, the study of the journey is an engagement in idle activities. It offers very little to the real world. And let me correct something that is hugely flawed that you said. You said that there are families being led by single mothers. Those families are not being led. Those families are being crashed. There's a big difference between leading a ship and crashing a goddamn ship.
We have no choice.
We have no choice. You do, and let me tell you what the choice was. I'm going to tell you what the choice was, my dear. I'm going to tell you how to be accountable. When you become a single mother, that is a direct result of you opening your legs too damn quickly. Women who open women
are cuckolded, and men are not, right? Men are free to do what they want to do, right?
Would you be kind enough to define cuckolded? What do you mean by that?
You're typecasting me. You're putting me in a box, and you're basically saying that it's my fault.
Are you a single mother?
I am.
Well, actually, I don't even like to use the term single mother. I like to use the term lonely mother. Are you a lonely mother?
Listen, first of all, you're not about to use degrading or.
And I don't want to degrade you individually. I'll explain why I use that term.
No, I don't really care why you use it, but
I'm going to explain.
The very fact that you're using it, it tells me your frame of mind.
But you don't know why I'm using it. You have no idea why.
It doesn't matter why you're using it.
How can we exchange knowledge if you're too angry to hear it out?
Why are you assigning the word lonely?
Because that's the reality. Let me explain why. Like, think about it. This is how we know you're not suited for leadership. This is how we know. Look at the way you're behaving right now. Mere words have taken you all the way out of your position. There's nothing you could say in your whole life that would move me to anger and emotionalism, because untamed emotion is the enemy of performance. So you will never think clearly while being that angry. There are many things that show clear evidence that the woman is not meant to be the top leader. Let me show you what's called data. Since you're in university, you can look at this data, and then we can assess what the data says about lonely mothers. And I'll explain further why I use the term lonely mothers. It's not to shame you. Instead, it's to make it stigmatized, because it's not a good thing for society.
You think that I don't need you to show me any data that's going to help me understand that
over the past 30 years, the rise in violent crime parallels the rise in single mothers. If you look at all of the data on single mothers, you find that the children raised by single mothers, or shall we say lonely mothers, all the data indicates that these children are more likely to be incarcerated in prison. They're likely to have less educational attainment, which means that single mothers are not good leaders. Single mothers are terrible leaders. And I'm not saying that the men who leave their children are good guys. These men who leave their children are irresponsible, immature. They're not men that I admire. They're immature boys, in fact, and I would encourage them to take care of their kids. But here's the thing. When a man leaves his own child, it's highly unlikely it's due to the child. It's due to that lonely mother having been a whore and he didn't want the kid in the first place. It's her being disagreeable and he's leaving the situation with her. So we can't lie and say that a lonely mother is preferential to a two-parent household. Don't we at least agree on that? That ideally we have two-parent households. Do we agree on that?
You see, I knew that when I questioned you, I knew that I was right. I really do have to trust my gut. And you and I are probably moving forward not going to agree. And it's not a personal thing. I don't have an issue with you personally.
No, of course not. You love me personally.
But just hear me out, because once again,
before you go in, would you answer the one question I asked you and then go in? I'm gonna shut up. Just answer the one question. Can we agree that a two-parent household, mother and father, is far superior to a lonely mother household?
Of course. The statistical data is indicative of
you warm my heart
outcomes, but hold on.
Thank you. And I'm gonna shut up. I'm gonna let you talk.
You know what you're doing. This is what you're doing, and this is why I said that some of the things that you are talking about are extremely harmful. It's so harmful, Marquett, and I really hope that you come to some sort of consensus with, I don't know, you have to gain some sort of introspection, because what I really want to understand is how you're still able to say, I don't admire these men, but, they leave. Mothers are responsible. And when the kids go to jail, when the outcomes are disproportionately terrible, it's on the woman. See, this is the problem that I have with men. This is the problem that I have with misogyny. This is the problem that I have with anything that is anti-feministic. And let me explain. I'm not done. Hold on. Let me finish. There was a time where in the DSM-5, mental illness, homosexuality, all of these things, the reasons were attributed to mothers. So women
that's messed up. Oh, that's foul.
Hold on, let me finish.
I agree.
Women have become cuckolded in society. So we can no longer be individuals with our own pain, with our own identity, with our own aspirations, dreams, and hopes. We have to be the anchors. And when the society that we live in, when they fail to properly support us and cultivate an environment in which we can thrive economically, we can thrive in the business world.
We, like the women or the families?
Hold on.
I'm just trying to understand. I'm not interrupting. I'm just saying, when you say we, are you talking about the women or the families?
I'll get to that. Just let me finish.
Okay. All right.
What happens is it's theory versus reality. So when the theory and reality do not align, you need to evolve, right? So when women are disproportionately running the household, whether you feel that they're able to do it or not is not the point. The point is women are left without the choice. That is the point.
They're not left that way. No. They need to stop being whores.
Let me finish. Please, you've had the floor. You need to understand. Women are not saying, hey, listen, I want to be a single mom. This is the outcome that is desirable to me. No, but we are not left with any choice. And the world around us does not support single motherhood in conjunction with being a businesswoman, being a great and present mother. We cannot do it all. And when we try to, we run ourselves thin, ragged. Often we have breakdowns, and something has to give. But it's always with the woman. With respect to the men, what do they give up? What do they lose?
Not a damn thing. We out here lit in Miami.
To ruin other families, to abandon other babies and other, but women are cuckolded. Women are typecast into the role of having to be the mother. We have to make money. We have to pay the bills. We have to be mom, dad, grandma, and grandpa.
You can't be mom and dad.
When in reality, the world that we live in should be cultivating and should be supporting an environment that is conducive to single motherhood, rather than saying, hey, you know what? You have to do it all. And when you don't do it all, you're a failure, or you're miserable, or you're lonely. No, it's how can we support you to not only aspire to be more than a mother? How can we support you to be a great mother? Because there are challenges being a mother. There's no book. It's sort of like the blind leading the blind.
You damn right. It is the blind leading.
But that's why that is where the support comes into play.
Who owes you that? Who owes that to you? Why do I have to pay out of my pocket to give you mental health services because you don't know how to keep your legs closed?
Paying out of your pocket. I pay taxes just like you pay taxes.
No, I'm saying I don't want to pay taxes.
No.
I got my money good. I don't need anything supported.
The reason that it's your responsibility is because you are having the kids and you are leaving them.
No, I take care of mine.
I'm not talking about you. We're not talking.
I don't have any kids. Shout out.
I feel like we have enough understanding that we are talking at large and we're being generalizing. I'm not talking about you specifically, but what I'm saying is the reason that the onus must fall on society as a whole, the system as a whole, is because the expectations are so high that the reality can never align with what is expected of us. So we break down. Women turn to their devices the same way that men will turn to devices. Like the misogyny is absolutely disgusting with you. It's disgusting.
I'm not a misogynist because I think that being a lonely mother is a bad idea. And just real quick, there was a young.
But you're not a genius for thinking that up. Women feel like that too, but we don't.
Wait, my dear, you don't have to yell at me, love. You gonna blow people's ears out. I got headphones and you yelling. You about to blow my drums out, dear.
You also cannot use my emotional base. You're not gonna be able to use that against me either. I'm sorry.
I'm not using it against you. I'm just politely asking you to relax, stay in your body. I just don't want you to blow my eardrums out.
Are we okay? We're good now, right? The volume is okay now?
For the time being, if you could keep it player.
I'll try.
So what I'm telling you is this. No one looks down upon single mothers no one looks down upon lonely mothers doing their best to provide for their children. What is undoubted is that is a less than ideal state, and every child deserves to have two parents and the best opportunity to be successful.
Right.
Because that is factual, we promote this as an ideal. We also promote that lonely mothers get out of that state of being a lonely mother. It is often arrogance, and arrogance is a big one, and also a lack of morality that keeps you in that state. For example, let's just talk a scenario real quick, interpersonally, just to see where your head is at. Say I came to you and I said, Annalicia, I've noticed that you're a very intelligent, accomplished woman, and I admire that. And you have a son, and you know what? I would like to invite you into my family. So I have a wife. We don't have any kids. I would like to invite you in as the second wife to be a part of my family. And I want to also be a father to your child. Would you be open to that?
I don't know anything about that.
Okay, yeah. So here, check this out. That's my whole point. Is you're so arrogant that it's about you instead of about your kid, when really your first thought should be, okay, Marquett is educated, multiple degrees from top 20 universities. He's a high earning man. has enough money to take care of me, my kids, and his other woman, and he's an intelligent man of principles. Maybe I should see what this is about and see what this opportunity can do for me. But instead, you're talking about, I don't know what that's about. You don't know what that's about, but what you do know is that being a lonely mother is a less than desirable state that disadvantages your own children. Further, you just complained and said you got to be the mama, the grandma, the daddy, and all these other things. When in reality, you're lying. You cannot be a mother and a father at the same time. Because let me tell you what you don't. You're lying. Let me tell you what you can't be. When somebody busts in this house right here, if somebody busts in here, I'm going to handle it because I'm the man of this house. It's going to get handled however it has to get handled. In your house, if somebody busts in your house, you're going to get raped and your kids are going to get violated. Okay? That lets you know you cannot be the daddy or the man. That's all pretend. We shouldn't even say anything that ludicrous. So when I tell you, here's an opportunity for you to bring a man into your home in a leadership role, you should jump at that. But you're so miscalibrated in a sick society that you'd rather be left to yourself and just complain about the situation rather than take action to solve it.
Okay, Marquett, let me help you understand something, okay, about me, because I don't think that you don't know me from a can of paint, realistically.
I don't.
But you really are missing the point, and I'm really taken back that it's going over your head because you present yourself as someone who is intellectually astute. So I'm wondering why you're saying the same thing. I think that you're willfully and intentionally missing the point to bolster your argument. This is what you fail to realize. Yes. Women cannot be everything. We cannot do everything. Obviously not.
You're failing at it, right?
That doesn't change the reality that is the expectation, because society has not set up a world and a reality in which the burden doesn't fall on our shoulders, in which men have to be held accountable, in which women are still able to be women and we are still able to have careers. You're thinking like an ant.
Did society open their legs? Did society open their legs, or did you open your legs?
One second. And then let's not get personal and disrespectful.
No, I'm just saying, why society have to be responsible for what you do with your vagina? It's your body.
You told me, you know what you told me? You told me I would be better off listing quotes or of better men than you and women than me and more accomplished. So James Baldwin, I'm sure you guys are familiar.
He's a homosexual, isn't he?
What difference does that make? He's accomplished.
It makes a difference. We're talking about heterosexual relations between man and woman. He's a homosexual.
You don't know what my quote is going to be. You listen. Just let me say what I'm saying, please. One second. Oh my gosh. Hold on 1 second. I'm so sorry.
Saints, we're gonna try to acknowledge some super chats while she's taking an intermission. And by the way, there was a young lady who said that she's a single mother. She's not a whore. That very well may be true. I'm saying, generally speaking, you had sex too early. And ironically, if you go to prison and you ask people who's guilty, everyone's innocent in prison, right? Same thing. No one thinks of themselves as a whore. Shout out to Eric for the super chat. I truly appreciate it. And peace to all of the folks who are tuning in. I really appreciate the 1,280 folks online. And I'd appreciate if we have 1,280 likes on this video to just show appreciation for Annalicia for being brave enough to come on here and me for hosting this conversation, because it's a meaningful conversation and we really do love women here and we don't like misogyny. But there's a difference between a woman and a whore. There's a difference between a good woman who wants to move in the right direction and a woman who's comfortable being in a situation that disadvantages her and her children and just wants to complain. What we really want are women who are saying, yes, I am a single mother. I realize that's a less than ideal state. I'm working to get out of this state for the benefit of me and my kids. Shout out to Tehran Massey. He writes, never argue with a woman. Yeah, damn right. And I would never argue interpersonally. This is a debate for the purpose of you all understanding how these individuals think. You might be blessed to never get involved with an individual who can't think in a linear way that leads to progress. Some people just want to bathe in the problem. Seems like she has a lot going on in the background. The ironic thing is she's pretty much told me that I somehow don't understand what she's saying. Think about how much that doesn't make sense. How is it possible that I've done business around the world, went to multiple universities that are superior to the one she goes to? And I know this for a fact. So how is it that I don't understand with all this IQ, right? This is a tactic that people will use. Say you don't have understanding when clearly you do. She's back. I'm going to yield the floor to her.
Okay. So, I mean, you can call me. I think usually when someone says, I don't know anything about that, I think the more responsible response would be, okay, let me teach you something about polygamy and, you know, sister wives. I think that would have been a better response, but you know what? I'm not gonna play semantics with you. Another thing that I wanted to say, someone said that she's not a whore, she's a single mom. Thank you. That's a very simple statement, but it goes over the simple mind. So whoever said that, I love you and I appreciate your understanding, your insights, because your insight transcends the academic understanding and the extremely toxic, misogynistic understanding, where if you are a single kid, a single mother, it is because you are a whore. It is because you did something that you were not supposed to do. What I want to say to that, not in every case. What I want to say to that is, there's a term, it's called intersectionality, and it's what it means is it's how poverty interacts with class, with your race, with your ethnicity, how your ethnicity interacts and sort of stipulates your economic mobility. It's just the way that all of your the challenges that you have are connected. You cannot separate racism and poverty. You cannot separate the disproportionate numbers that we see with people of color in mental health care facilities. You can't separate that from economic instability. You can't separate that from race. You can't separate that from ability and disability. These things are all connected.
Don't white people have some of these issues?
Like being a single mother is connected to all of those factions.
It's connected to bad decisions. Why are you blaming everyone else for what you do?
Marquett, can we let me try to see if we can concede. I want to see if we can concede. Can you concede with me that choices that we make? So, for example, you live in a society where you become a single mother, for example, okay? And I know there are some societies like in Norwegian societies and Switzerland, stuff like that.
Yeah, weak societies.
But just let me finish. You have someone who becomes a single mother. You know what? It's no fault of her own.
How is it no fault of her own? That's what the problem is. No one becomes a single mother. You have to have sex to become a single mother.
Let me explain.
Did she get raped? That's when it's no fault of her own.
When I say no fault of her own, I mean it was not her intention. She did not go into the relationship or the marriage with the expectation that it would dissolve and the man would leave. Okay, that's what I mean. Okay. Because what you fail to realize is when you say, oh, you need to take personal accountability, when women stay and when we take care of our kids, when we get our education, and when we do work and have careers, simultaneously, that is our way of telling the world, that is our way of telling the ex that we are accountable for the choices that we made. We stayed, and we're doing exactly what we need to do. First of all. Second of all, I want to see if you can concede to this. So if you have a society where women become single mothers, but they have a lot of programs that can help them have an understanding of not only their situation that they're in, but they have a lot of caretaking programs. They have a lot of
who's paying for this? I'm not paying for your kids. Where do you get this stuff?
But the deficit is in the man leaving. The man leaving creates the deficit. A man leaving creates a need.
So he should pay. I'm not paying for his kids.
Who fills the need then, right? The
Not
man
me.
creates the deficit. The man creates the need, and then you hold the women and you say, you deal with it. And if you don't, you are a harlot. And if you don't, you're a bad mother.
Yes.
Mix me with the misogyny and the bull. That's not the reason.
Let me help you out with logic. Let me help you out with logic. So this is where you're lying, and I want everyone to pay close attention. You are lying. Misogyny means hatred for women.
You're blaming me.
Correct.
There's no accountability.
hold on one second. I mean,
You're
I just want to
why do I
get.
have to pay? You
I
pay
want to
for
get
the
this clear.
situation.
I want to get this clear. Misogyny means hatred for women, correct?
No,
Correct?
No.
What does it mean?
Like you want the textbook.
I want let's go to dictionary.com since you're being deep. We're going to go to dictionary.com and then I'm going to go ahead and fold out this logic for you real quick. Cuz you want to play games and I got your card.
I'm not playing any games. I'm trying to be as forthcoming and honest as I can.
I know in your mind you think that, but I'm going to help you out with this knowledge. You dig?
Okay.
I got you covered. So hold on one second. Let me just go ahead and.
Misogyny is the dislike of, contempt for, and prejudice against women.
Women, thank you. Is that not what I said? In a nutshell, is that not what I said? You're being difficult. That's okay. I got you. Check this out. Here's some magic for you. Misogyny is the hatred of women.
Right.
Okay. You're saying that I'm misogynistic because I said the state of being a lonely mother is a bad state.
No, that's not why. That's not why.
First off,
don't put words in my mouth.
First off, lonely mothers do not represent all women. There's a great many women.
That's not what I said.
All right. Noted.
Thank you.
Everyone, she said she didn't say that. Noted. Thank you.
Thank you.
There are a great many women who have held off sex until marriage or held off sex until they had a deep knowledge of the man and they could predict the man being a responsible, mature individual who will take care of his kids over the long term, or they're a stand-up woman who is reasonable enough so that even when they divorce the man, they can still co-parent effectively. Those women I absolutely love. Those women are lady saints. Those women are the ones I commend all the time. So you cannot lie and accuse me of misogyny, hatred of women, because I'm saying that certain types of women are despicable. And I stand by the idea that women who take no responsibility are despicable. Further, to your point that these single mothers need to get all these benefits and support, I agree, but that should not come from the society. That should come from that individual man because it was his responsibility.
But that's not
There's
the
no
reality.
way you should increase my
align.
taxes.
It doesn't align.
It doesn't matter because you have no right to my money.
Reality is not your theory.
If you don't let me control you, I'm not giving you money. If you let me control you, I'll give you some money. But let me control how often you're going to choose to have sex with strangers. Let me control how promiscuous you are. Because you're saying the society has to provide for these women who can't manage their own affairs. No.
Marquett, I just want to.
By the way, it's Marquett with the smooth cube here.
Sorry.
Thank you. Think nothing of it.
You say that you don't have your contempt for women is palpable. So don't tell me that
my contempt for harlots is palpable.
No. Hold on. Because what you're doing is you're oversimplifying, you're overgeneralizing the fact that if a woman has a baby and she is then in a situation where she has to rear that child on her own, it does not by default mean she is a harlot.
It doesn't mean that. You're right, but it's more likely.
That is what you are saying. You are painting that narrative, and you are pushing and perpetuating the paradigm, and that is toxic and it's harmful.
Why is it toxic? Because you don't like the truth?
But your contempt is so obvious. You're saying, why is it my and you know what? I didn't even get to my James Baldwin quote. This is what I let. This is
all right. Go ahead. Hit us with it.
Baldwin, and this is why I feel that society as a whole, people need people. We don't live you don't conduct your world and your business in an individual fashion. You need people to support your channel, your platform, your life.
No, I don't need anyone. I personally don't need anyone. My money's good.
If that was the case.
No, my money's great. I don't need anyone. I want to be here because I believe in the people that I'm talking to. I haven't needed anything for many years.
Okay.
I want it.
So my feelings about that, James Baldwin has a really great quote where he says, "For these are our children, and we will pay for or benefit from whatever they become." So if a child grows up in acute poverty, if a child grows up in a criminalized environment, in a criminalized, marginalized neighborhood, whatever the outcome of the child, society pays. Because when that kid is thrown into jail, the tax money is coming out of your pocket to keep the lights in his cell on. It is our responsibility because we're here together. We don't we can't exist without one another.
So if I have to have the responsibility of paying for that kid, do I get the responsibility of teaching you how to be a good mother? Do I get the responsibility of teaching you how to close your legs?
How do you go about teaching someone that? Do you know?
I do, actually. Absolutely, I do. Absolutely. And you haven't been taught that. That's why you're so unruly right now.
What you're doing is the sort of pseudo education that you seem to feel gives you some authority over women and people. First of all, it's harmful because your education, I'm going to call it education, your education says if you live your life in the parameters that I deem,
that's right.
Anything else, not
that's
even
right.
the individual. The individual can't even align their own needs, their own identity, their own self-worth.
That's right.
You have to create it. If I live in that world, that's a problem.
If you want my money, you need to live by my rules. That's totally right. And let me help you out real quick.
Live by the rules of my integrity, of my moral.
But you don't have integrity because I see you right here basically arguing in favor of the idea that it's okay for women to be promiscuous, and when the results of their promiscuity. Well, let me ask you a straight question. Let me ask you.
I've never inferred that. I've never implied it.
May I let me clarify. Let me clarify then. I'm going to ask you a very straight question.
Go ahead.
If I took a sample of 100 married women and a sample of 100 single mothers, if you were being honest, will there be higher levels of promiscuity in the sample of 100 single mothers or 100 married women? Which one would have higher levels of promiscuity? If we're being real, we're not saying every single mother is a whore.
What are you saying? What's the point?
Hold on, dear. We're not saying every married woman is a nun. But what I'm asking you is, on average, will we find higher levels of promiscuity in the single mother or in the married woman? Which, to answer that, please.
You are going to find higher levels of promiscuity in the hot spots, in the areas of
God. It was a dichotomy. If you refuse to simply answer a question that has a one second.
You have to think macro.
And Alicia, you are refusing to answer a simple question, and the reason is because you're running from the truth. And I've seen people like you all the time. You guys run from the truth, and because you evade the truth, you will never provide a solution. And let me give a further example of how I know you're not providing a solution. Really quickly, I'll give you a little bit about my background. My first job was teaching kids in Baltimore City, most of whom were raised by single mothers in poverty. I spent years doing that. The second job I did, I ran a nonprofit at Johns Hopkins Medical. What was I doing? Helping kids who were raised by single mothers in poverty. We provided wraparound services 10 to 1, providing them everything they needed that their lonely mother could not provide. Now, what did I do after that? I said, okay, I understand the game now. I need to make a bunch of money so I can really help. And I give charitable donations. One thing in particular I donate to is a charity in Pasadena, California that supports lonely mothers with children. Why? Because I know they need the support. And this one helps them be within the context of the church, even though I'm not a Christian. Now, what am I doing? I run the SAS, and we give education to people like you who are idlers. You're scared of the truth. You don't actually do anything to help people on an organizational level. All you do is complain and blame the society and expect everyone to help you out of the result of your bad decision. That's what I've done. That's my real resume. I've been awarded for my philanthropic work. You can Google my name and see my awards for that on a global level. What have you done?
First of all, I didn't know that we were going to go there, but when
hold on,
that's fine. When you and I were having a conversation earlier, the way that you framed it was, listen, if you don't have a certain amount of economic cachet, there's really no validity to your existence. That's the first. So the validity to who I am, the things that I value, are not always going to align with a superficial and a vapid worldview or expectation. I currently work for SSHA, which is a shelter housing network. I work with the most vulnerable demographics in my society.
And you're getting paid for that, right? You're getting paid for that, right?
No, but
That's a
before
job.
that,
I'm talking. I was talking all volunteer.
No. Hold on. Let me finish. I still have to provide. Let's not forget your paradigm, right? I have worked in shelters. I have volunteered prior to. The reason that I got into shelters is because I was doing the work on my own before I got into university, before I had to do my practicum. This was something, it aligns with my moral sense of identity. It aligns with my plight. It aligns with who I am and sort of the challenges that I've had in life. So I've always wanted to be a part of that. Always wanted to have more understanding of that. And being in this workforce, in this sort of working in this industry, allows me to see and connect with people on a deeper level because I can identify with them as individuals. They're not just people to me that I'm not just getting paid. They are people I can identify with and connect with, whether they're drug dealers, whatever their background is. I don't put as much cachet.
If you're a drug dealer in a homeless shelter, your ass don't know how to sell drugs. I just want to throw that out there.
I didn't say that I was a drug dealer. That's not.
No, I didn't say you. I'm talking about the people that were in the shelter, because you said whether they were drug dealers.
Nobody said that, but like I was saying.
But real quick,
I don't. The reason that I don't need to list off what I do for a living or what I do and not for a living, what I do in my spare time as a hobby, is because I'm very secure with who I am as an individual.
No, it's because you don't have the credentials.
I'm not sitting here telling you I am like, oh my God, I'm going to move mountains. I'm sitting here and I'm telling you to stop focusing on the micro. Stop thinking like an ant and blaming the
No, you've done nothing. That's my problem with people like you. You've done nothing. You are a babbler.
Cross paths with anyone that has crossed paths with me.
And Alicia,
what I've done for anyone? You don't know me.
We're gonna find out real quick. We're gonna find out. And Alicia, before we continue this, can we just take one quick pause? I don't know how many likes are on this video, but we have 1,500 people watching. Somebody let me know how many likes are on this video, and we need to pause this joint until those likes match up with the views. You heard me? We need to pause this. Also, shout out to the people who have super chatted, because this is such important conversation we're having here, even though it gets heated. So if you haven't super chatted and paid your tuition, definitely do that, because this is remarkable. Now, let me, and Alicia, I want you to know that you may feel like, damn, you putting that heat on me. I still got love for you. So I don't want you to feel like I don't love you. I still love you. But what we want to do now is I'd like to take a few questions from the Saints, and we can both kind of share our perspectives on it. And I'll let you speak first, obviously. And Saints, if you have a question, go ahead and super chat your question now, because we're about to start winding this thing down. Also, let me know how many likes, because if you're watching this and you're not giving it likes, that's just dirty. And just again, shout out to Annalicia, because she got more cojones than your favorite YouTuber, because they would never come on here and get this work. We're going to read out some of these super chats while people are getting those likes up. And if they don't get the likes, we got to go. We got to go. And by the way, Annalicia, once I end the live session, stay on for a little bit if you'd be so kind. Robert Jones writes, she knows promiscuity is an issue, but she opts for a nonprofit organization to take the place of a father/leader in the home. Poor substitute.
That's not I'm not opting for anything. First of all, promiscuity is a symptom of a larger problem. It's so your theory is to put a Band-Aid on it. And my theory is, and this is.
I'm taking action. I don't got theories. I got action.
No. It's a theory, because your theory doesn't align with reality. Reality is the numbers are disproportionate. Reality is there are no choices to be made, and that the burden falls upon us, and that we are cuckolded in the roles that we ultimately end up having to accept. So
you don't have to accept it. Just close your legs.
I'm not trying to say that promiscuity is not an issue within that demographic. I'm saying that it is a symptom of a larger, more nuanced, and more polarizing problem. That's what we need to address. That is what I'm saying.
I perceive that you use. Okay, that's cool. Well, thank you for responding to that. Gaius Cruz sends a super chat. He writes 1,500. Peace to the Saints. Yes, indeed. And I also want to pop up the female so that we can give a little bit of balanced view. Monica's fine ass. And Monica, if you ain't hollered at your boy on IG, follow me at Marquett Devon, MarquettDavon, because I love women with common sense. Monica writes, marry before you carry. And look, you funny.
How do you know that? How does she know that wasn't the case?
marry before you
I
carry.
laid on my back?
No, I wish I was there, girl. I wish I was there. You wouldn't be on your back though. I'd have had you on all four.
Don't play with me, child. I'm not the one. Boo.
But Annalicia, did you marry before you carry?
I did.
Okay, well, let me give you your due respect. Okay, I'm about to put you on full screen because I want to give you slide your face and people want to see your face. You kind of cut off.
Do they want to see my face?
Yeah, absolutely they do. Let me give you your respect right now in front of everyone and say that. No, really, I want to give you your respect in front of everyone and say that you made the best possible effort to have a happy family. When you marry before you carry, that is a great effort on the part of a woman. And I cannot fault you for that, nor would I blame you for being promiscuous if you were married before you conceived, which is what you're saying was the case.
I lost my virginities in my early mid-20s. There's nothing promiscuous about me.
So you're saying that you were married before you conceived?
I'm saying before I conceived? No, I gave her my virginity. And then I thought it was gonna work. I thought we were gonna be together, and we got married. And
okay. And also, Annalicia has her own YouTube. Did you want to share your YouTube channel?
I mean, if the majority of people here are not in agreement, they probably.
No, we got a lot of haters on here. There's a lot of haters who are in the comments right now, like "fuck Marquett, I hate Marquett, handsome son of a bitch." There's a lot of people, and then there's that woman who said, she said, I'm not a whore because I'm a single mother. She might be fucking with you. And by the way, Shorty, I never called her a whore. I said on average. The Swoovius writes, salute to the sass. And truth be told, men don't have a problem with femininity. We love feminine women. Wow, wow. The issue is when women try to extort authority over a man with femininity. Any thoughts on that one?
So the problem that I have with that, sorry, what's his name?
The Swooviest.
That's a very
Wait, can you say his name real quick? Say his name.
The Swooviest.
You threw that. You pronounced the hell out that T. The Swooviest.
So the Swooviest. The issue that I have with that is, oftentimes in these dynamics, women are working alongside their partner or their counterparts. So if women and men are working, you sort of you take up the element of I'm the head of the house. It has to be you can be a co-captain because I'm contributing. I'm waking up and I'm working. I'm coming home and I'm working. So I mean, the expectation, it's an expectation that's not aligning with your own theory. And just it's your theory that isn't aligning with the reality, which is that women are working. Women are child rearing, women are cooking, women are cleaning. So once your reality aligns with that, maybe you could get more out of the person that you're with. But don't try to exploit her because you have a penis. It doesn't work like that.
May I ask you a question? Because I actually haven't asked you this, and I've actually made assumptions, so I'll have to, forgive my damn self for that. But in a family, are you saying that the man is not the leader of the family? Are you saying you guys are going half C's, 50-50? I think she might be on some other stuff right now. So I'm going to get through these super chats. We're going to wind this down. Did you hear the question?
Yeah, and I heard you. So it's not black and white, right? So I feel like if men are not living up to their own or society's sort of stipulations that really do adhere to the theory of masculinity and the head of household, which is the breadwinner, then you can't expect to have that role. If a woman is working and you are working, you guys are both contributing equally. And a lot of times women are making as much, if not more than the man, and men still want women to subscribe to a submissive role. And my position is, if I'm your co-captain, then we're not going to have an exploitative type of relationship. We are going to complement one another, and we are going to have equity. Equity means
we're not equal, though.
No,
we're not equal.
That's not what equity is. Do you know what equity is?
Look. Here's why. This is why I think that you might be single. I'm gonna tell you why I think you're single.
I said equity.
But there's only one
differentiation.
leader.
There's a
If you
difference.
can't step aside and say, yes, Marquette, the man is the leader, you will never have a man. You will never have a
But
man.
he has to actually be the leader. That means he's the one working.
And Alicia, no, let me help you with that.
You
and I'm gonna
see,
drop
it
some
doesn't
science
align
on
to
you.
reality.
I'm gonna drop some science on you. First off,
science, not you and science.
you're subscribing to something that is made up. There is a difference
You
between
made
being
it
a provider.
up, not women.
You're talking about, just give me a second, dear. You're talking about the provider and the leader as though it's the same thing. That's not true. A provider and a leader are two different roles. Sometimes they may be the same role, the same person, but they needn't be the same person. Let me explain. Number one, in modern times, if I was with a woman and she could do OnlyFans for an hour out of the day and make $10,000 a month showing her butthole, does that mean because she's bringing in money, I should yield leadership to her when I'm far more capable of leading our family just because she's making money? No, that would be stupid.
If you were far more capable, she wouldn't be doing anything. You would be working.
No, I am working,
Right,
but here's the thing. Hold on one second. Let me help you out. You need to really, and Annalicia, I really truly believe what I'm about to say right now. I don't care that there's 1,500 people on the call, and I'm not talking in general. I'm talking specifically to you right now. I'm speaking directly to your soul and situation right now. And you really need to understand this. And I'm saying this out of my heart to you. If you're a man making $50,000 a year doing whatever, you go, you do your 9 to 5, you make $50,000 a year working your butt off. You have a female who is under your leadership. Maybe it's your wife, whatever the case is. And she's doing OnlyFans making $100,000 a year. Just because she's outperforming you economically does not mean that because she's the breadwinner, she gets to become the leader.
But it also doesn't mean that she must be submissive to you.
Yes, she must be submissive, and I'll tell you why. The reason that you must be submissive is because everyone has their roles, and the roles don't come out of thin air. The roles come directly out of biology. And let me show you why you are submissive. If I was there right now, I could make you submit. You ain't even got to take the option. I'll make you submit. And here's the difference. You can never flip the script and make me submit. You are designed weaker. You shall be dominated. And when you're unruly the way you are right now,
you believe that.
That's why you will never get a man who is a high earner, because he doesn't want to deal with an unruly woman. And I say this because I love you and I want the best for you. And you're a good looking woman. You can achieve so much, but that mouth ain't good looking. When you think that you can compete with a man and not submit, you might as well get into a relationship with a woman, because that's the only being that's going to put up with the bullshit.
Can I respond?
Yes. Yes.
Once again, women we're just perpetually cuckolded. Women are not pushing matriarchy. You need to understand that the workforce is, first of all, the racism and the racial exploitation. That is the reason that women are having to work, because black men are not able to make as much as their white counterparts. They're not able to make as much money as they should be making. They're not able, hold on, let me finish. They're not able to acquire academic attainment because a lot of them are going to jail. A lot of them there are a lot of moving pieces. But we are not pushing the matriarchy. The matriarchy is a result of the circumstances that have been like, you really have a very narrow way of thinking and seeing the world. If a woman has to work, not want to, but if we have to work, you cannot then tell me, oh, you're going to work, you're going to come home and do some more work, and you're going to submit to me.
Yes,
that's not going to happen in life.
You're going to do all that, baby.
No. We are co-captains. I will love and respect you.
It's one only captain on the boat, baby.
You will love and respect me.
I will.
We are going to work together. We are going to complement one another. But you're not going to cuckold me into a role that you have not earned as someone who wants to be the head of house. If you're the head of house and I'm at home and I'm taking care of all the domestic responsibilities.
You're complaining again. Okay, so I heard you out. Now let me help you out.
And you're working? Oh, no. Boo. You're just not making
I heard you out.
You have not earned the title of head of.
That's why you're single. Let me help you out.
And I love my co-captain.
No, you're not.
My co-captain is not going to exploit.
This is why you're single. Like, this is the exact reason. That mouth, number one, because you don't know how to sit down.
I'm single.
Sometimes it's time to sit down and shut up. Sometimes it's that time.
I'm single because I want to be single.
No, no one wants to be single. You're a lonely mother. No one wants to be single.
No.
If I could bet the life of every living person right now, I bet the life of every living person, my unborn kids, my grandma, no one wants to be single. Human beings are social animals. You're dead lying to say you want to be single.
So
and what I know
I'm single, I don't socialize. I'm single and I don't socialize. I have a lot of friends. I have a lot.
And you got an enormous vibrator because nobody wants to be single. You got a vibrator you plug into the wall. Don't nobody want to be single. Right now, your dishwasher is a whole vibrator.
I have to subscribe to your worldviews. You want to know what my worldviews are?
I know what it is. You still got a Christmas tree in the background because you ain't even took it down. Like, that's showing me you're overwhelmed.
Let me talk. This is how I feel about being single. This is how I feel about being in a relationship. I want to be the best human being, not woman. I want to be the best human being that I can be. In order for me to do that, and I have a lot of introspection as a woman, as a person, as an individual. I have recognized in myself things that I need to address and wounds that need to be healed. I am not going to put the onus on someone else by getting into a relationship and having them deal with any emotional baggage. The onus is on me to unload the baggage, to look at the baggage, and to deal with the baggage. That is intergenerational baggage. A lot of things that were thrown on my lap.
Wait, intergenerational?
Hold on. Let me finish. Let me finish. You understand that poverty is generational. You understand that violence is generational. You understand that.
No, I don't.
You understand that criminality is okay. Well, I'll send you some academic literature, and you can go through it.
Time out.
But the point is, hold on. Let me finish. I am single by choice because it is not a priority. That is not a priority over dealing with me. Why
are you so messed up?
Can I finish? I want to be able to be more whole. If I am going into a relationship, the onus. Listen, the one thing about men expect women to be like Montessoris and take care of them. I don't want a Montessori boyfriend. I don't want a preschool, elementary, high school. I don't want a dad. I don't want a brother. I want a partner in life. I want to deal with myself and the issues that I have with myself because I am imperfect. I am not beyond repair, but I am imperfect.
You're not. That's why I'm here to help you out.
But that is why I'm single. Just because it doesn't fit with your narrative of your narrow worldviews doesn't mean that I'm lonely.
I got one worldview. It's called winning, and you've been losing. And you need to listen. That's the problem. Is that you're too arrogant.
You don't determine what fulfills me. You don't determine what makes me
You're
happy.
not fulfilled right now. That's why you're lonely.
You don't get to determine that. You don't know me.
I don't.
I have insight. I am introspective. I understand.
Okay.
Not you.
Okay, let's do this. Let's hit a few more of these super chats. We gonna wind it down. I don't want you. You ain't gonna be able to sleep tonight. You're gonna be so lit.
This is gonna put me straight to bed.
Rockstar Tony writes, she feisty. Throw me the oop, quet. Rockstar Tony. We got a lady. Tanisha, real talk time since through the super chat. I think she go ahead, girl. Let me see what you got going. Go ahead.
Oh my God.
We done turned on the cam show and everything.
Can you see everything?
Nah, I wish I could though. You could still show me though.
Let's keep this professional.
Droney writes, great video. And I think he truly appreciates how you're representing for the ladies. And OTA writes, Annalisia ain't got no ass. Saints, come on, Saints. We don't. That's not our way. We don't need to
let him come on the live and have an intellectual debate with me because that's what simple minds do. First of all, you didn't even spell my name right, and it's right there.
Right. That's not
absolutely disgusting. Learn to spell.
Saint, we can't come at her like that, Saint. Ty New Life writes, thanks for this great work, Marquette. Absolutely, we giving out work. Taylor Gaddis writes, has anyone hit the topic of baby mama culture? That's a huge issue, and I think it aligns with the debate. That's actually a really good one.
We did talk about
there
it.
you go. She said we talked about it.
Went over his head. I'm sorry, Taylor. It's not my fault. I can lead a horse to water. I can't make him drink the water.
Taylor, we gonna get baby girl in line. You mark my words. We gonna get her in line. Alex James, right? Super chat. At the end of the day, the solution should be focused on family building. I agree. Women must be accountable for doing their best to keep the family together, just like men do for being deadbeat dads.
They don't account for it. They're gone. Where's the accountability?
You know what? I tend to agree with Annalicia right here in that guys are grimy. You heard me? They'll go get a girl pregnant, go to the club and tell a chick they ain't got no kids. You heard me? So I agree with her there that the level of accountability is not the same for male and female. And that's exactly why I tell my females to be hyper vigilant about opening your legs. Because when the guy is irresponsible, he can go on about his life, have a whole new family. When a female is irresponsible, she's stuck with an 18-year minimum, more like a lifetime burden. So yeah.
A female is.
Yeah, I said a female.
You said that.
Said. Yeah, correct.
Oh my God.
Correct.
Help me, God.
You like
women,
that?
talk to him, please, women.
You like that?
No,
what's wrong with saying female?
It's just very, very simple-minded.
What's wrong with female?
No, you're very highfalutin and very narrow-minded. It's a very terrible.
But I've been winning my whole life. How is it that you're still trying to win? And I know you're trying to win because you got a Christmas tree in the background. Like you haven't even taken care of your basics. It's over here January 7th, and you haven't taken the Christmas tree down. That is a clear example of no leadership in your household because you're still living in past time. If a man was in there, he'd say, "Shorty, it's damn near a week and a half past Christmas. Let's get this shit outside." You probably can't even lift it up to take it outside.
That's so sad that you have to really go there. That's so sad. I love my tree.
I did because you got to clean that damn place up.
I'm not taking it down. I love my tree.
Okay, we're gonna bring some folks in real quick. We've gone through all the super chats. If you haven't liked the video, or else we're gonna have to wind this thing down. We're gonna be very brief. We're gonna bring the Saints on. We just got two folks. Rex, go ahead and speak up.
Your name is Boo Boo Kitty. I mean, what more needs to be
Peace and blessings to you both. Good to see y'all both again. Big props to everybody for even taking on this subject. I have one simple question that I would love to have answered. So, Mr. Marquett, you focus more on the individual because that's how you can spearhead the micro. And Annalicia, you are speaking on the environment around the individual that perpetuates their behavior. I believe that every problem has a first step to put you towards a solution. My question to you both is, where do you think the first step is? Because I don't think I heard that during this whole discussion.
So you're asking me for a solution?
I'm asking you for the first step. Where do you start? Do you start with the individual? Do you start with the environment? The environment is very macro. There's a lot of components. The individual is singular. It's mindset, of course, but I would like to know where you all are on it, because we talked about single mother
we got
household.
Like 10 people waiting, so answer that quickly.
Okay,
give them 30 seconds and we got to go to the next.
Sorry, what's your name? I want to address you by your name. You're very respectful. I like you a lot. What is it?
Yes, thank you. My name's Rex.
Rex, okay. So can you concede that we are products of our environment?
Correct.
You agree with that, right?
For the most part, yes. We start off at some point as a product of our environment until we're conscious of it, and then we can make our own decisions.
Thank you.
Okay, well, I guess you guys don't have a firm grasp of psychology, because those, I mean, depending on.
She call you an idiot.
No. Hold on. Let her go.
That's not what I said. Not everybody takes psychology. You don't wake up and say, "Hey, let me go to a psychology class." But what I'm going to say to you is, I think that the first step is really acknowledging the deep-rooted challenges that we have socially, and once you acknowledge that, then men can also acknowledge how profoundly important their role in the family is, and hopefully they're less the proclivity to leave will decrease, because if men really have an understanding of the way that the system is set up, and the system isn't designed for single mothers to succeed, the system is designed to perpetuate poverty and for the cycle to continue and the children to ultimately grow up in the same system. If men have an understanding of their importance as fathers, as partners, I think that acknowledging the problem is as important as acknowledging the outcome to the problem. So my answer is accountability and acknowledging.
Okay, so that's from the outside in or the inside out, if you know what I mean.
So we talked about intersectionality, and it's sort of how things intersect with one another, and you really can't have one without the other, right? Poverty and race they're closely linked, just like criminality and poverty are closely linked, just like mental illness, criminality, and
Rex, I got to thank you for your question because we got 10 more folks on, and you know it's all love. We just got to try to give everybody a little bit of airtime.
We can have a dialogue, you and I.
Absolutely. And if you guys need her contact information, we can get that to you. So thank you so much, Rex. We got the Saint on. He's in all black, apparently. Did you want to share a question?
Yes. Yeah, I wanted to make a comment more so than a question, actually, if I have the time. Somebody mentioned the topic on baby mama culture in the comments, and in Annalicia's defense, baby mama culture is an example of that intersectionality she's talking about. But to our defense, or as a layperson, like intersectionality is kind of a pretentious aesthetic that makes it, fly over most people's heads in that defense. But my thing is, society is made up of individuals, and we all have the choice individually to participate in those toxic cultures. So that's what I wanted to say. And peace to the Saints.
Hey, he came on in all black and has some real game, y'all. You're going to have to play that back to actually understand what he said. Truly appreciate it. Tell us how your first name is pronounced. Okay, he's already off. He was a quickie. And we're back. Mr. Davis, how are you, Saint?
I'm pretty good. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So I agree with a lot of points both of you made. I really feel like you didn't touch on the accountability enough.
Of women or men or just of what?
I mean, you touched on it of men, and of course they have accountability, but of women being promiscuous and just the decision making that leads to it beforehand. You talked about how like your personal decisions that you made, but most women are not taking into accountability the type of man they sleep with and the outcome of what can happen, in my opinion.
Okay, I'm going to say something to that because you said that I talked about men being accountable. I didn't talk about men being accountable because there is no accountability. You can't, there's nothing to account for because they're not there. They're not financially engaged or participating. They're not emotionally supporting or participating. So there is no accountability. So I don't want you to sort of deviate from, that's an important piece. Another thing that I want you to understand is the behavior that you're talking about, promiscuity. I don't know what else you said, but these are symptoms of a larger problem. And somebody said, society is comprised of individuals, but individuals create the systems and the constructs that we live in. So, I mean, who is the onus on? The onus.
Damn, are you saying that the system made these chicks whores?
The only reason that you think that is because we're the only ones left standing, having to take on the burden of having to have all these hats and play all these roles because men are not there and they can't be accounted for.
I think it's really strange that you're basically saying promiscuity is a symptom of a broken system.
No, that's not what I said. I said it is a residual residual effect and a symptom of a larger problem. You see, when you focus on the behavior, it's counterproductive.
Well, then what's the solution? I notice you're problem oriented. What's the solution?
What creates the behavior? Why don't you think about what creates the behavior? Is there a chemical imbalance? How have you been socialized? How have you, what have you been exposed to? A lot of women who are promiscuous have been sexually abused as children.
Agreed.
You have to look into what went into what cultivated the behavior. Stop isolating the behavior, sir. It's counterproductive.
No, because if you're focused on isolating the problem and you dive into problems because you're a problem-oriented person, you're still dealing with your own challenges and you've yet to solve them. I'm a solutions-oriented person. I've solved the challenges that I've had. That's why I have a great life and everything is in order. Now, Mr. Davis, did you want to cap out anything else to your question before we pull you out?
Yeah, I think what you're doing, promoting accountability rather than promoting what she's trying to promote, I think promoting accountability is the best way, is the best solution to go about it. Because the larger problem, like you said, is like the families and trauma and abuse. But everybody goes through trauma and abuse.
Yes.
Everybody goes through that. You can't blame kids that get bullied. Kids get bullied all the time, but they have to know how to deal with the bullying. It's always going to be bullying. It's always going to be people that leave families. You have to know beforehand how to deal with these things. And just taking accountability, I feel like, is the right step to go. So you can quote me now.
Mr. Davis, I just want to say tabernacle. Yiddy. Peace to the saints. All right. I just want to give you a heads up. We're going to merge in. First, let me acknowledge this super chat because we really respect the people. We got 1,500 people on here. We don't even have 50 super chats, which is amazing. We haven't even converted 5% of the population. So we're really thankful for the people who show love to those who show love to them. So I appreciate the young lady. The life of A, right? Quote, I have a tree up as well. That's a choice. Laugh my ass off. Now, for all of my lazy women out there, I dropped my Instagram in the DM so you could come get some leadership.
Marquett,
I'm happy to help you out.
Marquette, I
said Marquette. You're an intellectual. How many times I gotta tell you?
I'm sorry, Marquette. I initially reached out to you because your oversimplification and overgeneralization that someone has a tree, so they are therefore lazy. Stop doing that. People make probably. Stop doing that. It's a pain.
If you were so smart, why haven't you figured out your life? If you were so smart, how come your life is not in order? If we look at what you have and what I have, we'd have to infer that I'm better at making decisions. So why is it every time you speak, you assert that someone else does not understand? It's further strange because you're in the process of getting your advanced degree. I already have an advanced degree from a superior university. So why is it every time you speak, you try to use polysyllabic words to make yourself feel like an intellectual when you're failing to put together coherent logic? That shows that you have a tremendously high level of arrogance with not enough humility to get along well with others. So you mentioned psychology. If you're familiar with psychology, I would hope that you being punished by the society, i.e. men avoiding you, would teach you to stop these unproductive behaviors.
You calling someone arrogant is the pot calling the kettle black, boo.
That's true. That's true.
Nice try.
But hey, here's the difference.
It's a very arrogant statement to make if you see someone has a Christmas tree because they like it, because they like it. Wait, hold on. Let me finish. Whatever the reason is, whatever it is, but you make the assumption that they are lazy. You are arrogant.
True.
You think you know. You are extremely precocious because you think you know more than you know. And
I know more than you. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying I know everything. I'm just saying I know more than you.
Degrees don't give you authority to label me because you don't know me from a kid.
No, I'm not labeling you. I'm pointing out your clear behaviors.
You don't know me.
We just brought in the only one Carter into the building. I yield the floor.
Alicia, can you hear me?
And Alicia, yes, I can.
Alicia, okay. First of all, I want to say to you, you're very attractive, so I want to give you that. We appreciate you coming up here to talk to us. I appreciate that. It takes a strong woman to do that.
Get to it. Yeah, you have a backhanded insult.
No, see what?
Somewhere.
There's nothing negative. I'm coming to you with love. Nothing negative. I'm trying to give you kudos, and you coming to me, and that's my point that we're making. All I'm saying is this: if you just listen to someone that's trying to help you, you come across as aggressive. You know the term of the angry black lady? That's how you're coming across. So what I want you to do, what I would like you to do is when you get time, rewatch this episode and ask yourself, would I date me? That's all I want you to do. But that's all I want to say. I'm coming to you with love. I don't want to be disrespectful. I'm not trying to disrespect you or anything like that. You know, I saw you in the street. I'll try to holler at you. I'll be, you know, but I'm coming.
If she take that frown off, I need her to smile for me to holler at her. She frowned up. I need to smile. You heard me?
So I'm just hoping that we can use this as a learning. I just want you to use this as a just look at this broadcast when you get a chance, and then I think that you will see what a lot of people are trying to say, and you will see. That's all I'm saying. But that's all I got, Marquett.
Hey, I appreciate you coming in.
Can I say one thing to that?
Absolutely, absolutely.
If a person is transparent about needing to, you know, a lot of self-work needing to be done, I'm pretty sure they're going to have some introspection about, you know, how assertive, how aggressive, and how, you know, sort of. I understand that. I don't have to rewatch this video to know who I am. That is who I am. And I don't need to rewatch the video in order to have any insider understanding. I appreciate you if you're really trying to impart some wisdom. But, you know, I am who I am. When I'm talking about things that compel me, that interest me, that I'm passionate about, that, you know, align with experiences that I have been through, this is sort of the way that it manifests itself. But if you know me in other capacities, I'm loving, I'm funny, but I mean, if you understand me, then you're for me, and if you don't, you're not. You can keep it moving.
Okay.
Damn.
Well, can I ask you this? Do you want to be married one day? Do you want a husband one day?
Oh no. Well, 1 second.
Saint, I want to commend you for how civil you're approaching the lady, and it's a great example to all of us on how to be respectful. And, you know, I think some people may be missing the fact that, you know, to keep 1,500 folks engaged, there has to be a level of, you know, being turned. But you're providing a great example, and you make me proud to have you with an assassin.
I know.
I think she's coming back on. I'm gonna let. All right, you know what, Mr. Carter, we're gonna have to go on, try to wrap it up because we've taken too much of her time.
Can I answer your question? Do you want me?
Absolutely.
Was that a rhetorical question?
No, he was really asking.
No, I'm asking. Honestly.
Oh, sorry. I want to make sure that I answer it very, very clearly. What was your question?
Now, I was just asking, do you, as a woman, do you want to be married? Do you want a husband? Like, is that something that you would like in your life? Or do you feel like you're better just, you know, being by yourself and because you know you and, you know, so I'm just asking, do you want to get married pretty much? Do you want to have a husband?
I mean, I think that your idea of having a husband is different than my idea of having a husband. But I ultimately, I mean, having a partner, yes, I would love to have a husband, a partner. But the idea, the roles, the, you know, the societal attributions that you affix to being a husband are probably, you know, not paralleled with my own. So
you had to get to know me before you say that. So that's not fair you to say that.
No, you told me to look back, and, you know, basically you're not happy with my decorum, and you're not happy with my. I mean, I guess.
For the record, I'm not either. And Mr. Carter, I appreciate you coming on and sharing that. The studio's full right now. Thank you for coming on. Love the yellow shirt, Saint. And let me address just a few of these super chats of peace.
Yes, sir.
Yellow is a very happy color. I will agree.
Absolutely. And it looks great on the black, man. You heard me? I want to acknowledge Will. He writes, just showing love since through the Cash App. I guess he found it in the description of the video. Droney writes, just got finished watching your video on how to sell. Okay, I'm thinking something about how to sell a dream. Great work. Check it out. And Khalil Pittman writes, thanks for the energy and game today. Absolutely. Khalil, thank you. Joseph Mabry just sends through tuition. Appreciate that, Joseph. And while we're on here, start liking up the video. Saints, let me know how many likes. We should have 1,600 likes on. And William Austin writes, for peace, need Mo, St. Louis, Nick from the council. Appreciate it. Nick from the council came through. Truly appreciate that. And the young lady, Yum GM, writes hashtag polysyllabic. So she's digging the vocabulary. If you ever hear a word you do not know, you should absolutely
polysyllabic, by the way.
You should absolutely write it down and look it up. And Annalicia just said, oh yeah, and shout out Ronaldo just sent through the the Cash App for the game. And you'll notice that she was very quick to try to correct me. Now, here's the funny thing.
Oh, no,
if
I'm
you know
patronizing
anything,
you. No, I'm patronizing you.
If you know anything
me.
about, one second.
You have to take it. We're having fun.
Absolutely. And I'm, one second. She was very quick to correct me. But if you know anything about the English language, it's a language of deep orthography. And orthography indicates that a language that is devoid of accent marks, you can pronounce certain words in different ways. Which is why, again, she shows her arrogance when she's speaking to someone who is actually educationally, experientially, and professionally and economically superior, yet she's still arrogant. That lets you know she's an unruly woman who is unwilling to be led. That's why she uses the term partner, because she thinks the male and the female are 50-50, even though as the leader of herself, she's led herself to destruction. Now,
no, stop putting words in my mouth.
Just give me 10 seconds real quick.
I believe in equity. I didn't say anything about equality. So there's a differentiation between equity and equality. Do you want me to break it down?
You can, but just real quick, I'm just going to say for Yum GM, GN, thank you for the note, and shout out to my fine African-American or African sisters, you heard me, especially with the natural hair. Holla at your boy, because they say Marquett don't talk to black chicks. So go ahead and holla and help a brother out. Anyways, she wants to go ahead and tell us the difference between equity and equality. But before you do that, let us merge in white chocolate. Nicholas, how are you saying?
Hey, first, I just wanted to appreciate you guys for hopping on here and sharing the knowledge. Obviously, it's really hard to do. You guys both, representing yourselves really intellectually. I think a lot of people got some value out of it. I want to start with a kind of a saying that really resonated with me, which is basically like if you remove the bullet from the gun, that's even better than wearing a bulletproof vest. Like basically, you solve a problem at the first step or as early as possible to try to avoid what can potentially be a terrible situation. So I know that finding yourselves in a situation, whether you're a man or a woman, related to this topic is like going to be pretty devastating for a lot of people if they don't know how to handle it right, or if they, lose their footing for whatever reason. So I think anyone can benefit from knowing, being solution oriented here. I personally am actually dealing with an unruly woman that I can't get to submit to me. She's wonderful. She's not that promiscuous compared to what I could have gotten out there. But right. I'm at the point where I don't want to leave. I want to love my kids and be there for them. They're really young. They're not even a year old. I had twins. But man, is it wrong to leave a woman that's not submitting? I mean, are you supposed to? I mean, I'm at the point where I'm like, is it going to be better for them if I go do my own thing so that they can be properly led, and so my mental and my energy, my time can be put towards things that are going to be useful, because no matter how much I engage with her, it doesn't pan out. And I will go to battle as often as I can to fix it. But at some point it feels like a waste of time. And like, we just kind of check out when we deal with these women that are like super liberal mindset, and like, it's just, where do you go from here? How do you make a woman, what do you do with a woman that won't submit? Because obviously, biology, we can't take that approach anymore. I would never put my hands on a woman, but it's just, I don't know, man. It's crazy. It's hard. But I love, man, that's what makes you grow. That's what makes you level up.
Are you being authentic? You're being 100% serious?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Hey man, you better lock your door. She might pull up right now. You better lock your motherfucking door, Nicholas.
I'll take whatever wisdom she can give me straight up. I mean,
Okay.
I just want.
Okay.
I want
Do you? So, why do you feel she should submit to you?
because I'm a man.
But so by default, you're a man. I mean, what cachet do you have as a man?
I'm being guided by my father, and
what
so
quality do you bring to the? What do you bring into the relationship?
she's not bringing masculinity. My kids need that. I mean,
no.
the
That's not what
society
you
that we're
said.
in
I said,
is
what do
devoid of
you
that,
bring?
and that's why we've
What are
gotten
you bringing to the
as an
relationship?
epidemic to
Your
this
penis in
the
your hand like
situation
this?
that we're in as a whole.
How much
as
money do
society.
you make, sir? How much money do you make?
I make $30,000 a year. I am a self-employed business owner.
Does she work?
No, she does not. And this is also another point why I want to get into is right now she's on unemployment, and I've expressed that I don't like that.
You don't make enough money.
We're getting
She
help
has to
from
be on
other
unemployment.
individuals
You
that
don't
work
make enough
hard
money,
for
my
their
dear.
And
You
she's
don't
like,
make enough
"Oh well,
money.
what's that?"
Hold on. Give me one time out.
No.
I live
Hold
well
on. If
under my
he's being
means.
real,
Nothing that comes out of my wallet is ever anything that's not a bill.
if
I have plenty of
you
money
are
left.
being honest, let me give you some advice. This is the first point. You don't make enough money. That's why she's on unemployment. She's not going to submit to someone who doesn't make enough money. If you think that we live in that world,
She's making no money.
Reality. Hold on 1 second. Let me finish. White Nick or white chocolate.
Damn, why you call white Nick? Damn,
you
you're
call me
about to
little
get
Nick?
racist. Goddamn.
White chocolate. I am so sorry. Sort of.
I'm sorry for interrupting too.
Your what you want. First of all, it's a very selfish and unattainable want. It doesn't align with the reality. The reality is the money that you make. I mean, $30,000. I mean, depending on how many kids you have, you're living at the poverty level. Depending on where you live, depending on how many kids you have, and the cost of living. So
their
you don't make enough
necessities are
money.
taken care of. Faith is my bank account, but as a man, I can raise my income.
The answer to your question is, if you want her to submit, you don't make enough money. You need to figure out a way to make more money.
So okay, Nicholas, she gave you her answer, which is it's all about the Benjamins. She said,
in your world,
you gotta pay to play.
You guys created this.
She said it.
She won't let me pay for
everything. I'm living in your world.
She refuses to let me lead. She wants to be this half and half
You're
thing,
not
and I'm
a
like,
leader.
she doesn't want to be. She doesn't want to be a housewife. She wants to go to work in her career that's going to top out when mine won't.
Spoke in the wheel.
Annalicia, I'm gonna walk in the other room and thank you.
I have love for you, and I respect you as an individual.
I want generational wealth. I want to break the curse of what my family.
You need to make more money. You need to make more money.
She just
I'm going to come on to the next stage. Nicholas, I appreciate you coming on, Saint. Truly appreciate you sharing your situation. Annalicia, we're transitioning right now, dear. Thank you for coming on.
I'm working on the money. I really am.
Yeah, but leave her alone. You're not working.
I'm going to say one last time.
We have kids.
I'm going to give everyone 5 seconds to stop talking. Everyone, 5 seconds to stop talking. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. I truly appreciate you both complying with that. Nicholas, thank you for being with us, Saint. We're now going to transition on to the next person. Truly appreciate you joining. And Annalicia, I really appreciate you helping us transition to the next person. Thank you for being respectful of the request. And thank you for being very clear. That was one of the clearest things you said all night. You let them know what it is. We appreciate it. We're going to merge on the next person.
NBA world. Slap yourself, please.
Oh, yeah. And by the way, you're right. Thank you. Let me read out this super chat before we bring on Powell. NBA World writes, I made my wife put our tree out before the end of January.
Congratulations. Pat yourself on the back.
So he's basically saying when a man's in the house, things are getting done when there's good leadership. She ain't sitting on her butt waiting for next Christmas talking about, I ain't got to take down the tree. It's almost next Christmas, 2021.
You're generalizing again. I told you, your platform is too big. Be an adult and act like you have something between your ears, please. Well, what does next caller have to say?
Oh, she lit right now, pal. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hand her.
Oh, no, we good. Salam alaikum and peace to the saints and sinners.
Wa alaikum
assalam. This is like a cult. I feel like I'm in a cult. The saints and sinners. Jesus.
But so Annalicia, this is the comment or the feeling that I had. So I'm raised in the Bay Area, raised by a very strong mother, a very strong father who co-parented, very much had the kind of equality approach to co-parenting and just the general kind of Berkeley feminist background. And that was kind of my childhood and my ideological background growing up and into my early adulthood. And so I didn't have a ideological problem with pretty much how you're articulating yourself, but so when I started to implement it in the real world and do this kind of partnership 50-50 thing with women, that ended up not working. And that's how I started getting tapped into the saints and the sinners and really trying to understand female nature. Because when I didn't assert when I tried to play that equal role, I think in the long run, it turned the women off, and they're looking for that strong alpha male, and which I have within me, and as far as financially and academically and all that kind of stuff, like I got it going on, but I was really brainwashed into that kind of mindset that you're talking about, where like, oh, what's up, queen, and 50-50 and this and that, and ultimately it consistently didn't work for me. And I think a lot of men come to the red pill, come to this awakening as not from an ideological, patriarchal, like I just want to check bitches. It's like, this is what our experience is with women in the modern world. And so that's kind of that's what I'm struggling with, and what I wanted to kind of put in your court a little bit and add to the conversation.
First of all, I like you. I don't know you, but I like you. You are respectful.
Me too.
You are articulate.
Me too.
And because this answer is going to be, it's a long-winded one, and this is not my platform. I'm under time constraints. Please come to my channel so that you and I can talk, because I really feel like you are looking for true insight and guidance. I'm not telling you I'm a guru of any type or I'm Nostradamus, but I really do think that I can help you in that respect. But I'm going to try to condense this as much as I can. So I don't subscribe to equality. I don't think that the society that we live in perpetuates or cultivates equality, but I do subscribe in equity. So equity is the idea that there are things that you are better at, not just as a man, but as a human, because you're more than a man. You know what I mean? You're a father, you're a brother, you're a son. You have hopefully a wide range of emotions that you're able to access and express respectfully and safely. But I believe in equity. So there are things that you as an individual are better at than your woman and your counterpart. And those are the things that I think that you have to spearhead. And those are the things that I think that you have to be responsible for. And just like women, there are some things that women are just better at. Some things we've been socialized to be better at. And some things, honestly, it's just genetic. It's just we were raised in an environment where there are things that we had to do. We got good at it, whatever it is. So I believe in equity. So put equity at the forefront of your relationship, because then it'll align more realistically with your own desires, and you're not going to exploit her and she's not going to exploit you, and you're not going to ask her to do something that she really doesn't have the capacity to do, and vice versa. Unfortunately, the world that we live in, this sort of idea of masculinity has extended to women, and women also subscribe to it. I think that men should be individuals, and they should be held accountable for who they are as men and individuals.
And Alicia, while you're taking a breath, I'm going to merge in the next person, just so everyone can get some of your knowledge. And I want to shout out Powell, saying I truly appreciate how you came on as a rational man, stated who you are and where you're coming from.
He really wants
says
to know
a lot about you. And I agree with you that though women would speak of equality, in actual practice, they prefer the man to take leadership. And that has been reaffirmed every single experience you have. Saint, truly appreciate it. Wa alaikum assalam. Peace.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Thank you. Come meet me on my channel, por favor.
And before we get going, before we bring in Jabrizi Magic, I first want to read the super chat. Last Ronin, peace to the Saint for continuously supporting. He writes in response to Annalicia's comment, cult is something that is hidden. This is a community, which I agree with.
That's actually wrong, but I mean, do your thing. That's
She
something
knows everything. I'm gonna start calling her Google because
That's
she knows
something that
everything.
somebody in a cult would say. That's so
Okay,
funny.
got you. So she's pretty lit right now. So Jabri, I'm about to pass her off to you, bruh.
I'm fine. Hopefully you're fine. If you're fine, we could be fine together.
All right, how you doing? I'm Jabrizi. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Hopefully.
Right. Well, I'm happy to meet you. I'm just happy to meet people in general. I'm just a happy person. So, all right. So I want to ask you something. All right. I had a super quick chat question. It's what are women's roles in relationships and in society? On your point of view on this, I think in that we'll find what the responsibilities on your stand side that women do take accountability for. So could you give us some perspective on that?
Sorry, you want to know what? Okay, you're asking. Is this is a two-part question?
No, it's. I gave the reasoning why I'm asking the question in the second half. So basically, what are women's responsibilities in families and in society? Because then, if that's a responsibility, you take accountability for it.
Okay, so I mean, women's roles in society depend on the society, right? So women's roles in a relationship also depend on the dynamic in the relationship. It depends on where they are economically. It depends on their social standing. It depends on their culture. A lot of the way that dynamics are cultivated and created are contingent upon culture, because there are some cultures that have very clear definitions of what a man's role and a woman's role is, and there's no deviation. Because if you deviate, then you sort of turn away from the culture, which is a part of your identity. So I mean, your roles look different depending on the household, depending on the environment, depending on the individuals. That's really and truly, I mean, I know that's not what you wanted to hear. I feel like you wanted a very conclusive, definitive response, but that would be counterintuitive for me to say that.
Oh, okay. In terms of when you operate in a relationship and how you proceed to present yourself in society, what do you find to be your personal responsibilities in a relationship in society?
Okay, so my roles, I'll tell you what they have been. I've taken on the role of the caretaker, the child rearer, the maid. I've always worked. Usually while I was in school, and if I wasn't working, I was definitely in school full time while rearing children. So my role has always just been to be as productive as I can as a mother, as a student, and as an employee. But I think that what you need to understand is, hopefully you'll take something away from this. What you have to understand is I come from, and I'm not the only one. I'm sure there are a lot of women in the chat that can identify with this, but they come from generations of broken homes. So they come from generations of men not being in the home. I was pretty much raised by my older brothers, who unfortunately did a terrible job. I still love them, but whatever. So women have, they sort of have the burden of, we put a premium on the men that come in our lives, because everything in our body, everything in our history tells us that the man is going to leave. So you need to stay, you have to have a sense of stability, and you have to be accountable for yourself as a productive member of society. So men say, oh, you want to get your education, you're working, you're a feminist, or the labels come out. But really it comes from a generational fear of men not being present, and therefore you have to account for that deficit. Otherwise your children ultimately, and you ultimately, suffer. So I've always had to be responsible and accountable for who I am, and I've tried to be as productive as I can within the the landscape of my life and my circumstances. I don't know if that, I don't think that answers your question, because it's very nuanced. And
no, you answered it. You're doing a great job, actually. I think you're doing a very good job. I wanted to ask one more question too. So I am a successful man myself, and I am very generous in how I go to change the world, offering major bonuses to people in my company. I have about like 15 employees. I take a great deal of sacrifice even in helping all these people. And I have such a bigger dream of helping the world and changing it. It costs me a lot of finance and a lot of detriment, even sometimes to the point where the same way I want to help my family, I'm too busy trying to help other people help their families, to help mend these financial issues by giving them jobs, by giving them education. So what I'd like to ask is, should I be dealing with a woman who is unruly and not submitting to my request? If I'm being this great deal of an answer to the world, especially as a Black man, where I would say it's much more rare to find a successful Black man being able to give opportunities. Should I be dealing with women who are not willing to submit to my requests? And I'm a very good man in his heart.
What is your request?
What is my request?
Yeah.
That she cook, that she cleans, that she's considerate, that she aids to my business, that she makes my life a lot easier, and even to that degree, to the point where I will help make her life easy just as well. But she has to remember that I am the primary, I'm the foundation. And I believe even when I take a look at relationships when it comes to women, women don't necessarily think about building things for generations to come. But I am a really big thinker.
Be careful. Cuidado.
I'm saying generally speaking, because I look. I mean, as a man, I date women. I'm around women, and I hear their plans.
Are you a woman though? Okay.
I operate in a relationship. I'm not.
No.
I'm happy that I'm not. I'm happy that I'm not. I'm happy with who I am. I'm a man. So that's what I'm saying. But I'm saying, as a man, I'm trying to build things for generations to come. So when I operate around women, the majority of women I meet, in fact, I would say most of them, don't have a long-term plan in order to provide families to come of mine and my name with generational wealth. And I'm there to help mend that problem, so that now we can just focus on having a happy life, a healthy mental. We don't have to play victim to anybody. And just like Marquett, I come from a place of poverty, but I wasn't going to say that some white man was smarter than me. I'm not going to say any man smarter than me. I refuse to submit. I believe that's the definitions of a man in his truth and his character, because I wouldn't like to be around any leader who claims to be who claims that they're weaker than their opponent. You get me?
Oh God.
So what I'm saying is, should I be dealing with women who don't want to submit to my greater solution to the world? I mean, look, just last year we went ahead and made like $2 million in profit. So I'm saying, and a lot of that money.
Hold on. Time out. You said 10 what?
2 million. 2 mil. And a lot of that didn't go in my pocket. That went into the people that I work with.
As it should.
To help them. So what I'm saying is, to the women that I'm dealing with, they don't understand the great deal of sacrifice I'm going through. And I think anyone who makes a great deal of sacrifice, the person who's stepping into their life must make a sacrifice, a great deal of sacrifice. Because I'm not just talking, but I'm walking what I'm talking.
So you really do want me to answer that question?
Yes.
Briefly, because we do have 10 more people in the studio. So answer it clearly and concisely if possible.
Yeah, you should know me by now, though. Okay. Sorry, what was your name again?
Jabrizi.
Jabrizi, girl, you heard that, man.
Okay, Jabrizi.
You said it real smooth. I like that.
Okay, Jabrizi. Okay, first of all, whatever philanthropy or whatever work you do, I'm gonna commend you on that. Just as a sort of side note, I mean, there's currency, and then there's moral currency, and then there's social currency. So obviously, you're sort of getting everything wrapped in a bow. And I'm not saying that you're not working hard for it, but obviously, it's not just about dollars and cents with you.
Before when White Nick was on here, you said he ain't made no bread. I'm just throwing that out there. Go ahead.
$30,000 is enough. It's not enough to submit to anything. You can't even listen. I don't want to even be disrespectful. But I mean, basically, you want a Montessori. You want a mom. That's the dynamic that you want. Is that it? Like you want?
I want exactly what a king would want. I want someone behind me doing the things behind the scenes, because the show can't go on. I'm the man in front. I'm the man they see on the stage, but we need somebody to operate the lights, the curtains, to make sure the ticket sales are going right. We need somebody behind the scenes as I'm the front of the operation.
Jabrizi, do you think it's more productive that she sort of rides your coattails and opens the door for you? Is that a more productive scenario than her working and getting her own bread in order to create generational wealth on a larger scale and probably in a shorter amount of time? Which one do you prefer?
Well, here's the thing. She works for me.
No. But I didn't say anything differently than what you just said. So I mean, I still
take 10 more seconds on it, love. So take 10 seconds to wrap it up. No rhetorical questions. Just wrap it.
Making her own bread and she's creating economic mobility as an individual. Would you prefer that scenario, or do you want her to work for you? And she's not going to make as much as if she was working for herself on her own. What do you prefer?
Well, one of my first professions was being a magician, and I believe that I can have it all. So in terms of that, if I can be this great of a man.
You're not going to answer the question. You're not going to answer the question? I
did. I basically said both. I want both.
So you want to have your cake and eat it too? I'm sorry, that's not the way that the world works. Once again,
okay. So we're going to
theories of the way that something should be don't align with the reality of the world and the reality of you as an individual. So I throw in the towel. I don't know what to tell you.
Wow, goodness, Lord, so foul. Okay, Breezy Magic. You know really appreciate you coming on and being respectful and polite and giving an honest.
You weren't.
And giving an honest explanation. Thank you very much, Jabri. I truly appreciate it, and continue to prosper, Saint.
Thank you. Thank you to both.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
All right. You know, I want to do something unique. We have one of the ladies on. We brought Kay on. I don't know Kay from anybody, so we just bringing Kay out of the woodwork because we want to mix it in. You did. Kay, talk to us.
Sorry, my camera isn't working.
It's okay.
So I'm not a feminist, but I do find this conversation refreshing because the past conversations and debates I've seen on YouTube, it's been a terrible experience for me because I find men very disrespectful. So I just want to say I appreciate Marquett, like your community and like the men who are so respectful.
Be careful. He's a wolf in sheep's clothing.
1 second, real quick, Annalicia. Kay, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart because my true intention is to mend relations between male and female. And to hear that from a real woman, that means everything to me. So I want you to know that you touched me, and also shout out to the Saints because you're complimenting them. And I've been very proud to be associated with them. I'm proud of their conduct. So thank you so much for that high compliment. And I'm going to yield the floors back on you.
Yeah, absolutely. The question I have as far as feminists, and this is what I find, because I'm 29 years old and I was raised with feminists, and I think that it tends to make an unhappy life for women. I think the issue, which I hear a lot with your conversation, Annalisa, is that feminists try to get men to think like us, and they just can't think like us. Like you keep, for example, like early in the conversation, you were upset about him speaking on like a micro scale. And I was on this whole thing with spirituality. And from what I'm understanding how men are built, they're meant to like work in order and how they think. Women were more built on a community scale and how we think is more community based. So I think as women, it's very important for us to fix what you're talking about that needs to be fixed, because both issues are very valid. Women have to go back to our own corner and fix each other, while we have men like Marquett and other men on the chat who are very respectful, fixing each other, but also themselves. Because even though we want them to fix the system, from what I'm understanding, or Marquett, maybe you can correct me on this, I believe that men don't work on a community scale. They work more so on individual. They compete. That's how they fix their issues. They don't fix it by looking at, oh, there's an issue in this community and this is how I'm going to improve. They work by individual improvement, and that's how they improve their community. Whereas we as women, we work by community, And that's how we improve our individual selves to be more feminine and finding men who will lead. So hopefully that makes sense.
Baby Jesus. Okay. Sorry, what's your name?
Karen.
Karen. Oh, your name's Karen. Oh God, Karen. Karen. Okay. What was the first thing that you said, Karen? You said that I want men to do something.
I find in general with feminists, and I think a lot of times this can be wrong with men too in their community. We're trying to get each other to think like each other, and that's not.
Pause.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's all I needed. I'm so sorry. I don't want
no worries. You're good.
My train of thought. I don't want men to think like women. I want men to think like men. I want men to think like they have something in between their ears. If men were thinking at all, they would think about the consequences of their actions, those of which force women to roles that they're not equipped to play. Listen, the roles that we have to play, we are not equipped to play. And that is why you have disproportionate amounts of social ruin, because we're forced into a role that we're not equipped to play, but we have to. I don't want men to think like women. I want men to think like men. I want men to be accountable. This is the one thing that I want to leave you with. People, this applies to psychology and genetics. So they say that the genes are the gun and the environment is the trigger. The genes are the gun and the environment is the trigger. So that's cause, that's effect. The environment is as important as the individual, as your gene, your biology. It's as important as the choices that you make. You can't have.
Can you control the environment?
One without the other.
Can you control the environment?
I don't want men to think like women. I want men to think like responsible men. And I want men to understand the ramifications of their absence in the home.
But do you think that
go ahead, Kay.
Sorry, do you think that feminism has helped despite for because we're both women of color, and I don't believe if we go to race, I don't believe that what we're submitting under with white women and feminism, it does not help.
Okay, so I'm going to answer your question. This is the thing. Once again, feminism, the word feminist has been, it's extremely weaponized. And I just want you to understand what feminism is. Okay, it's just.
There's third wave feminism. Which feminism are you a part of?
No. Hold on.
Basic civil rights for women.
Let me tell you, 1 second. Feminism, by definition, is the advocacy of women's rights on the basis of equality of the sexes. So I want you to understand one thing, because feminism has served the Black man.
Get the fuck! I'm done. I'm done. This is the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life.
You see,
good Lord.
You're not gonna let me.
I'm gonna give you 30 seconds to finish this point. You have 30 seconds.
Why is that?
Because you gotta make sense.
That isn't fair. 30 seconds is not enough.
I don't think feminism has led Black men, though. I think, at least I think we messed up the definition of it, because my feminism, I was raised with a single mother, so she was pretty feminist, and I was lucky to have brothers who were able to lead their own homes and have families. But a lot of single Black mothers are led by that feminism type where it's I'm the queen, I'm going to lead, and that messes up Black men. I'm not a pick me or anything, but I'm just saying we should see both sides of it.
Right. And let me throw some data, because here's the problem with what Annalicia is saying. She's literally making up things that are not at all backed by any facts. Let me share some facts with you. Number one, you want to talk about feminism helping Black men?
Angela Davis spearheaded.
Is there a reason that you're yelling right
Black
now?
men are overrepresented and incarcerated, and how that affects the Black home. She has pushed.
Why are you interrupting?
No, you're not gonna lie on me. You need to Google Angela Davis.
Why are you interrupting right now?
Her cause was absolutely.
Annalicia, was I speaking or were you speaking?
Betterment and the benefits of the Black man.
Annalicia, was I speaking or were you speaking?
Go ahead.
I'm asking you a question. Was I speaking or were you speaking?
I was about to speak and then something happened. I wanted to respond to her because Angela, a lot of
yeah, I agree with that.
Feminists have supported Black men.
Thank you. Now,
Angela Davis being one.
you're yelling out the name of one individual person. That's fantastic. Let me talk about aggregate data. Aggregate, grand scale, nation level. If you look at the incarceration rate.
Oh my God. Hold on.
Okay. If you look at the incarceration rates of Africa, and firstly, this is going to end on race after this because she keeps on bringing up race, which is really strange because this whole conversation was never about race. I don't know why she keeps bringing it up. But number one, she says that feminism, white liberal woman feminism, has helped Black men. This is the most idiotic thing I've heard in years. Why is it idiotic? Because number one, Black men have far lower educational attainment than Black women. Black men earn less money than Black women. Black men are incarcerated at much higher rates than Black women. But we should never compare the Black man and Black woman as though they're enemies. They're natural partners. But if you're going to talk about feminism, the Black man has suffered under every wave of feminism. And today, Black women are suffering under feminism because it was never created for them. It was created for white women. What's the evidence? The evidence, if you literally Google, when did women get the right to vote? It'll tell you long time ago, but they're not including Black women. They're talking about white women because the suffragettes got their right to vote before Black women. They did not consider Black women to be a part of their struggle. So the liberal white woman, the unruly white woman who spread gender feminism globally does not care about Black women. And you'd have an educated fool like the one right here.
Don't play with me. You're not calling me a fool.
She would get on here and tell you, what about intersectional feminism, which is basically her appending a polysyllabic word to a filthy word of feminism to modify the meaning and trick you. When the reality is that feminism in all of its varieties is filthy and it does not help anyone. And in fact, it has led to illegitimacy in the family, single parent households, high incarceration rates among the children of these lonely mothers. And that is the thing we are trying to eradicate. We're trying to let women know if you're a single mother, it's an unfortunate state and you should be seeking to find a great man to help build your family and father that child in partnership with you, but as the leader.
Can I respond to that, Karen?
Let Kay respond, and then we're going to let you respond if you don't mind.
Okay.
From my experience, I found it because it's important to I think that it's at times it can be a cognitive dissonance when you listen to men talking about leading at our age because we were taught to be feminists. So when you hear it just lead, you're like, what the fuck is he talking about? But when I take a listen to it, I have women in my life who are single mothers. Listening to what you're saying, it's helping to make better lives for families. When I was with feminists and white liberal feminists, it did not make me happy as an individual. I find myself in a happier state by understanding my role and my strength as a female and as a feminine woman and improving in that sense.
Agree. And I'm just
Can I respond? Can I respond,
yes,
please?
Absolutely. Yes. Can you do 30 seconds so we can acknowledge the super chats? Okay, really quickly. Aaron M sends through the super chat. He writes, I wish she was right, but that way doesn't work. If you have any more super chat questions, please send through your super chats.
That way doesn't work. But that's what I'm saying. You guys are looking at the outcome. It doesn't work because of the environment and the society that has been cultivated as a result. Ew.
Okay. Kay, thank you for joining us. We truly appreciate having a woman's perspective. I would love to have you as a part of one of the Lady Saints. We have productive, open-minded women who are together and trying to build on what do women need to support themselves, what do women need to achieve their goals, and how can we build this greater relationship between the male and the female on a global level, repairing that relationship, making sure that there is not enmity there. There's no misandry, there's no misogyny, but there's love between the natural pairing, the male and the female. So we'd love to have you. Thank you for calling in, Kay.
Happy New Year.
Hey, Happy New Year to you as well. Okay, so we're going to pull out Kay. Okay, now let me address some of the super chats. If you have super chatted or you have a question, go ahead and send it in. Write super chat if we missed it. Man Friday sends in the pounds. He writes, Angela Davis is a treacherous imposter who got kudos from associating with the Panthers, but she was not a Panther. Man, Friday ain't playing with it. He says she treacherous. Coach Scott Gately sends in the super chat, paying tuition. I truly appreciate you stepping up to be counted. So many people watch but aren't showing love. We might have to make the next one we do private for the members only, because there's a lot of curse words on here. So I don't want my account getting flagged. So appreciate that super chat. I think we've maybe gotten to the super chats. If I missed it, just go ahead and retype the word super chat in all caps with your question or comment. I also want to acknowledge Joseph Mabry, Rick Ulysses for the tuition, Ronaldo for the tuition, writes for the great game. Dwayne Brown writes for excellent debate. You won in a biblical landslide. Thank you, Dwayne, but I'm not trying to win. I don't think she's trying to win. We're trying to just share this knowledge and game. So I truly appreciate the compliment, Saint. Byron writes, keep it, bro, from Black Sinatra on YouTube. Thank you, Byron Davis. Truly appreciate the support. Do DM me your YouTube name. I'd love to check you out.
Can I say one thing?
Yes, certainly.
This is to Karen. Karen, I know you're still listening. The reason that intersectionality, which was coined in 1989, but the importance of it, Black feminists, we had to create sort of our own subsection of feminism, because there is white feminism and there is Black feminism. And Black feminism highlighted the intersectionality of the outcomes of their lives and their husbands and their partners and the Black man. So they understood. And this is a residual effect of slavery, obviously, but they understood Black men are overrepresented disproportionately in the criminal justice system, in jail, in prisons. So Black women had to figure out what is the reason for this. They had to figure out poverty has to do with criminality, which has to do with race, which has to do with mental illness, which has to do with able-bodied and disabled and ability. Like, intersectionality is such an important piece, not just in life, in relationships, in understanding the landscape of the world that you live in. You have to understand everything is a part of something else.
Thank you. And that was just 2 minutes. I gave you 2 minutes uninterrupted. I just want to hit a few of these super chats. And thank you so much for sharing that knowledge. Marcellus Jordan writes, super chat. It's never wise to go against one's nature. Men dominate and women nurture and provide sustenance.
Do you guys have
hold on, love. Let me honor him by reading his super chat before you interrupt. I'm going to start it from the beginning. Marcellus Jordan reminds us of the super chat. It reads, it's never wise to go against one's nature. Men dominate and women nurture and provide sustenance. When society has weak men, there's a decline. Agree or disagree? So he's asking you this, though. Answer this question. This is what he's asking. When men are weak, do societies decline?
I don't know if people in this chat, I don't know if men at large are.
Is it possible to answer his question first?
No, hold on. No. Listen, don't tell me how to answer a question. I'm going to answer it to the best of my abilities. This is the problem that you guys are, it's going over your head. It's just like, whoop. We are not pushing the matriarchy. And this is something that weak men do. And Marcellus, you are weak. Because for you to say, and I'm going to explain why, you guys are blaming us. And you're cuckolding women and saying you're pushing the matriarchy. You want to be the man. Oh, you're pushing us out of our role. You can't play your position. Instead of looking at the system that is creating the environment around us, instead of saying men have been taken out of their homes, they're in prison. Men are not able to get the jobs that they need to support their families. They're not able to get the education that they need to get the jobs that they need to support their families. You guys are blaming the women when all we are doing is picking up for the slack. We're just picking up for what people are not able to do. We are not pushing the matriarchy. We are it's just it's cause and effect. We are doing what we need to do to survive. So once we live in a world where men are able to be in the home with us and they're not running because they can't handle it, there's so much pressure, they're not running, they're staying in the home. Society is designed in a very in a mutual way, with more mutuality, with more equity, with more resources for everyone to tap into. Once we live in that kind of a world, a world that really does support and nurture the Black family, the entire Black family.
This channel is not about Black issues. I just got to let you know, this channel is not about Black issues.
We are not pushing
It's not.
patriarchy.
No, it's not about Black issues. I'm letting you know now. Hold on, time out. Like really, hold on 1 second. I'm telling you right now, this channel is not about Black issues. If you want that, go to Tariq Nasheed, go to something like that. This channel is not about Black issues.
Out of this debate, I'm sorry to tell you.
No, because what you're doing is you're one of the many race hustlers who make it seem as though you're a race hustler. Yeah, because this is not a Black issue. And I'm going to tell you why.
Race has nothing to do with it.
I'm going to tell you why it's not a Black. 1 second. I'm going to tell you why it's not a Black issue. Because you have a lot of white women out there who are also single mothers, Latinas who are also single mothers. A lonely mother in any color is a bad thing. A weak male in any color is a bad thing. You look for any excuse to explain your bad situation. And you love to leverage being Black, even though you're damn near barely Black, but you're more Black than I am. I mean, it's crazy. You're barely Black, but you're more Black than I am at the same time.
Just say you don't want to be accountable. Just say it and we'll be done with it.
You're the one that's not accountable because you're not accountable to bringing a father to your family.
I am not accountable. Somebody else does. Period.
I'm extremely accountable. I have 0
children. You are not accountable.
Why
because
are you
give him a pass, and now it has nothing to do with race. Even though you were just talking about intersectionality,
who's him?
You were conceding with me.
Wait, who's him?
Let's move on.
Who gets a pass?
Let's move on.
You lit. Okay, but look, let's acknowledge a couple super chats if we have some super chats come through. Okay. Looks like we may be caught up on the nope, we got a few super chats to address. You are passionate, though. I'm gonna give you that. You are absolutely passionate. And by the way, where are my moderators at? How come we don't know how many likes are on the video? Like, damn, can we all do our job out here? You heard me? Where are the moderators at? How many likes do we have on the videos? Longer Tracks writes, there are 2 type of women. Those raised to be a wife, submissive, and those to be baby mamas. I like this guy.
I'd rather be a baby mother than illiterate. You need to learn how to spell.
Oh,
peace out. You're illiterate. Don't disrespect any baby mothers, please. You're illiterate. You can't talk to me. I got 30 kids. You can't spell. You can't talk to me.
Ooh, foulness.
What's wrong with this guy?
Hey. Camden Mosley writes, she's too disagreeable. How can you hear or understand anything? Big Homie is saying if you are repeatedly cutting him off.
I overstand him. I have heard him. Believe me. I've heard him. It's retained.
She's a genius.
I got it. I'm good. Don't you worry about it.
Mark Alexander writes, she big mad. Reese Bobby writes, hashtag race hustler.
Your mother.
Oh goodness! Don't talk about the women. Are you a misogynist?
You guys are hypocrites. You want to have your cake and eat
Superior Mind writes, she wants a dominant alpha male. Why is she playing? I know she playing because low key, as soon as Canada let y'all out of jail, you coming straight over here to mess with the big homie.
It's not about what I want. It's about what is available.
No, I know what you mean.
Men are not able to be dominant. Women have to work.
I agree with what you're saying. I'm going to tell you, I agree with you if you say males. Many males.
This is going over your head.
Many males are not stepping up to the plate. There are a lot of men within the assassin who are. So you got to know who you're talking to.
Why don't you question the economic climate?
But let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. Why is it you say that you want
attainment?
Hold on, love. Hold on, love.
Question women. Women.
You say
we're not the problem.
Can you close it for a second?
With the problem. We're not the problem.
You're not the problem, but you won't stop talking. That's a problem.
I'm not the problem. Sorry.
That's a problem.
Women at large are not the problem.
We're not talking about women. We're talking about unruly females like you.
We have to be your mom.
You're saying cuckold, right? You said cuckold, right? This is the definition of cuckold. This is the definition.
Not cuckolded. I know
you said cuckolded like 30 times today.
Baby, that's not his. I get it. I'm sorry. Not
You said cuckolded like 30 times. Why do you keep using a word that means the husband of an unfaithful wife?
I'm using it out of context. I'm getting.
And you were teaching me English earlier. Don't forget about that. You were teaching me English earlier. Now you're using poor diction. And it's a Freudian slip because you're talking about the unfaithful wife.
Is profound. Just take it easy.
Now,
I'm good.
Let me ask you this. Since you're saying men can't provide, why is it when I said to you, I earn a significant amount of money? You heard me? And I've been doing that since I was 22. And I told you, I said, if I come to you and I'm willing to bring you into my family and be father to your child, if you would allow me, why is that something you need to think about? That's a golden opportunity. You were the one who said, oh, black men can't do this. Black men can't do that. Well, you're talking to a black man with multiple degrees from top 20 universities, been a businessman, lived around the world, done deals with the Chinese government, and got oodles of money, but you don't want to submit. You want to have the big mouth and say, well, I don't know. Maybe I don't know. So I offered you, and you didn't even want to be realistic.
The reason, see, the kind
you
of person,
can't deal with a good man.
No. You see what you're doing? You're labeling once again. Labeling.
No, I asked you. I made an offer. I made an offer, and you said, nah.
Your purview is labeling, and you really think I'm going to fall for it. My purview is.
No, I'm asking, why did you deny an offer?
I'm going to explain, because if I don't have a strong understanding of something, I have to do my research, right? That's not the world you live in.
But what did you say when I asked you?
You just go head first into any damn thing
it's better than where you're at, that's for sure.
I need to have an understanding of what I'm doing and the world around me and the people I'm interacting with. And I asked you, and your response was ignorant. Your response was deductive and disrespectful.
What was your question?
Instead of you saying, hey, this is what polygamy is, this is what it would mean, this is what it looks like, you went straight for the labeling, because that's really all you can do.
Let's do this. Let's rewind and let's do it the right way. Let's do it the right way.
No, not let's. That was you.
Okay. Fantastic. Let's do it the right way.
So you can do it the right way, and then I'll respond.
Hold on one second. Calm down. Since you're saying it was done the wrong way.
You did it the wrong way, not me.
Please, let's move forward. Pointing fingers isn't going to get anything solved right now. We're trying to move forward.
Calling the kettle black.
Right. I wouldn't call the kettle black. Now, are you ready? Look at you. You're a problem-oriented person. You're a problem-oriented person. I'm trying to have a conversation. Look at her. I'm trying to have a conversation, and you keep calling names.
I'm waiting. Go ahead.
Are you ready to be silent while I speak?
Go ahead.
I'm just asking you a simple question. Are you ready to be silent while I speak?
If someone's not talking when you're talking, that's the action, speaking.
See, you're showing that you're an unruly person. I asked you a simple question. If you would have asked me, Marquett, would you mind being silent while I speak? I would say, absolutely. That's the civil thing to do. You're not single by accident. You're single because you're unpleasant. And this is how we know you're crazy. I'm going to tell you how we know. Because if you're a good-looking woman and single at the same time, it's a clear indication of being crazy, because most males, not men, but males will accept anything as long as they can get a pretty face and a little bit of box. But you are truly unruly to the point where even guys who are tricks at nature, they won't even deal with you because you're too unpleasant.
Let me say something. I could have came on here on this platform. I could have lied about my resume. I could have lied about who I am. I could have lied about my circumstances. I could have said I've been married for 30 years, and you would have never known. I'm on this platform. I'm being honest to who I am. I'm being transparent with people who are watching me in the hopes that they can gain something from my authenticity. But this is the one problem.
You're authentic.
This is the problem that I have with you, because you're accusing me of being divisive, but you're doing the same thing that I'm doing. But because I'm a woman, it's somehow toxic. And because I'm a woman, it's somehow,
you're getting outside of your body. What I'm saying is that if you're
going to dish it, you have to take it. And who is this?
Well, you should never use a term like, if you're going to dish it, you should be able to take it, because if we take it to the full extent, you're always going to lose. You can't beat me at anything. Nothing. Okay. So the only reason,
I thought those weren't the stakes when we do. I thought you told listen, you have to keep your narrative straight, because you told the viewers it's not a win or lose situation. We're trying to build, we're trying to be insightful and create some knowledge. So which is it now? Which is it? What hat do you have on now?
Every now and then, someone like yourself needs a verbal pimp slap. And that's what we have to give to you because you're completely unruly and we got to put you back in your body. I mean, I would be honored if you slap yourself because at this point, I don't even know if you're worthy of me doing it.
I mean, I haven't done anything to warrant the slap. You know what I'm saying? But who
oh, Lord. Look, I'm about to pass this off to the pimp, and you heard me. I'm about to pass this off to Robert Jones. I want to welcome the Saint, and I'm going to step back. I'm going to let her cool off. You heard me? I'm passing her over to you, and she's coming in.
Yeah, man. I mean, Marquett, thank you. Saints in the Nation, love y'all. And Annalisa, okay, so here's the thing. I'm hearing your arguments, right? You're frustrated.
Probably not.
Wait, hang on. Look, listen. You're saying, hey, looking too micro. You're not looking at what happens with the family unit, with incarceration, with socioeconomics and all of that, right? That's what you're saying. You're saying men aren't taking accountability for being not there for women, therefore women are having to make up for that. You're saying women have to be dominant. That's what you're saying. You're saying we don't want to be, but we have to be dominant, right? That's your narrative, and that's a larger narrative, right? That's grown,
okay.
Been growing in America.
Okay. So this is what I'm going to say to you. Sorry, what's your name?
Robert.
Robert. Okay, Robert.
Yeah.
So what does it mean to be dominant to you?
To me?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not just me, man. That's how all of us are.
No, I'm not talking to everybody. I'm talking to you. What is your definition of dominance?
Honestly, it means that everything's going to structure. Everything's going to be ordered. Everything's going to a plan. Yeah.
Right. Okay, so if a woman is on her own, does she not have to take responsibility? Does she not have to provide?
Why is she on her own?
No, hold on. That's not you see what you're doing? Answer the question.
That's not natural.
No, you said women don't want to be dominant. I'm trying to answer your question. Don't think like an ant. Think like a giant. Mm-hmm. You're saying women don't want to be dominant. Women don't want to be. We don't want to have all of the responsibility on our shoulders, and we don't want to accept roles that we are not equipped to deal with, and we are not equipped to handle and accept. Right. But we're in a position where that's where we are, and then men want to say, you don't really want a man, you want a woman because you want to be. No, I'm in a place where I have to take on the roles of the man. I have to work. I have to provide. I have to create stability. I have to create structure. Listen, if you want me to answer your question, make sure you ask the right question.
That's a good question. My real question, I was just actually, to tell you the truth, I was just asking for you to restate what you already said. You said that already. My thing is, part of the solution to that for you is basically, I gotta say it like this, and it's part of the BM culture too. You hate men now. You're jaded. You had a bad experience. You see this overarching thing. You're jaded in your experience. I can't blame you for it. However, what are we supposed to do? And you're talking to an ex-convict. My father was a convict, grandfather too. All the men taken out, but I still have conservative family who brought me up with good values, right? You feel me?
That's
so
right.
We've been trying, but we get pushed out when we want to step back in the picture. Men ain't shit, right?
Okay, let me point something out to you. I'm glad that you said that. So you said that I'm jaded, and my experiences. I mean, listen, I don't want to say that you are 100% right, and it's not so much with men. It's with human beings in general. Not everybody can be trusted. Not everybody is well intended. But let me explain something to you, because men are guilty of the same thing. Men have a negative experience with a black woman or black men, and they say, I'm only messing with white women, or I'm only messing with Latinas, or Latinas are crazy and
stay away from the white women.
They're mucho caliente, and then they go on to another ethnic group or another race, and then they completely put a paintbrush on one entire ethnic group because of their experiences with them. So if you're saying that that's what I'm doing and that's what other women are doing, that's what men are doing too.
Okay. Is that right though?
Is what right?
Is that right? Should we be pushing people to adopt that? See, that's what I'm saying. Your solution, like this.
I don't have a solution.
Well, shit.
That was the first thing she said that made sense. Hold on. She said she don't have a solution. God damn it, that was the first real thing she said.
The solution doesn't start with me. The solution starts with you.
No, love, listen, because you're right. It is the women that are making up the backbone of things, but you're instead of accepting the role that you're there to nurture, you're there to follow, you're there to make sure that the men are brought up strong and that the man that's in your life is looking good and shining.
Let us do it then. Make enough money then. Stick around then.
Wait. You just said intersectionality. What if I just got home? What if I ain't got no money in my pocket?
Okay, so you can be a messed up person.
No, I didn't say it's okay.
To be my fault,
I'm not saying it's okay, but you just said, wait, listen up. Look. You just said we got to think about how racism affects people, how poverty affects guys.
Right.
So those things are happening to men. If he's not making
fix yourself before you get into a relationship.
So you're saying fix yourself.
Do that.
First you said,
before you get into a relationship.
First you said, look at the big picture.
It's not
first you said, look at the big picture.
Listen. What's your name, Robert?
Yes.
Robert, listen to me. My brothers have been incarcerated for the majority of their lives. They are institutionalized individuals. Let me explain something to you. It is not our job to fix you. I don't care if you're a convict.
Never said fix.
No. Listen to what I'm saying. I don't care if you're an ex-drug dealer, ex-drug user. I don't care what your plight is as an individual. The onus is on you. The onus is on you to come into a relationship whole or as whole as you can be. Because this is what happens. I'm not a school. I'm not your mom. I'm not your dad. I'm not your brother. I'm not your abuela. That's not my job.
What would you be?
That is your job. And what happens is the men rely on the women to fix them and to submit to them. And when women can't do that and they're run ragged, they're run too thin, taking care of house and home and also taking care of your needs, then the men say, oh, you know what? This is your fault. The reason that all of this is happening, it's your fault, and you can't submit, and you can't do this, and you can't do that. No. You can't have it both ways. If you are going to be in a relationship, don't go into it with your baggage and say, here, mommy, this is for you. Merry Christmas.
I've never done that in my life.
No, but if you come out of jail and you have unresolved issues as an individual, whatever your plight is, you deal with it. And then when you go to an individual, you express yourself and you make sure that they understand what you've been through, who you are, and some of the things that you are working through.
Look, I did. All I'm going to say is this. It came from women who were supportive as hell. You know what I mean? And didn't look at the money thing and didn't look at it like, oh, you got to have this much money for me to submit to you. Bullshit. Look, a good man, a good leader does not need to have those materialistic things. They don't.
Did I say that? No. That's what men say. That's what men say. Men say I'm the breadwinner. You submit to me. Listen,
that's not our way.
Cut it out. Men have come on the line talking that talk. So obviously you have subjective hearing.
Well, I think what they mean is that by being the leader,
tell me what they said. If you're telling me they don't know how to articulate themselves and they don't know how what they're saying, you're calling them dum-dums.
Well, I feel like that. If I'm working my ass off and it's my money, I mean, best believe I'm gonna call it like I see it for a lot of things. But
good luck with that. Do your thing.
I don't need luck. I mean, it works.
You don't need luck. You're right.
Hey,
but listen. You.
Look. I respect your argument. I appreciate where you're coming from. I'm definitely going to follow your channel because I want to know what kind of game you're kicking. I just want to make sure your solution for this whole thing isn't just to diss men and to think that, it's like you said, it's about accountability. I want to see more women step up and say, hey, you know what? We do have a problem.
You want to see more women stand up, but we're taking
not the way
home, and then we're waking up and we're going to work, and then we're coming home and we're going to work, and you want us to step up?
Didn't you just say? Hang on. Didn't you just say we got this bigger? We didn't
slap yourself, sir. You want us to step up?
Marquett, you're muted, Marquett.
You want us to step up? That's an idiot thing.
I couldn't interrupt. Okay, we were taking a super chat break. Thank you for letting me know that I was muted. And I appreciate the lively debate between the two of you. Let us read a few super chats real quick. We want to show love to those who show love to us. Jay Babb super chatted writes, usually red flags are there but ignored in the name of love. In your case, did you realize any red flags that both you and the father ignored? Where does accountability start if not? So do you got his question or do I need to read it again?
No, I got it.
Okay.
That is a productive question. Jay
it is. Yes.
I mess with you. It's a productive question. I'm going to answer your question. So yes, there are always red flags. I'm in agreement there. But depending on your family dynamic, depending on how you were socialized and how you were brought up to understand what love is, because love looks different for everyone, right? Love can sometimes be monetary.
You got to keep it quick because we got to get to other ones. Were there red flags? Number one.
No, hold on. Just let me answer.
Were there red
you know
flags?
What, J Babs? Obviously, he doesn't want me to really answer it. Please come to my channel. I will answer that cohesively and comprehensively for you. But at the end of the day, my ideas of what love were distorted, and it comes from the inner child in me. It comes from my experience as a child and the relationships that I had with my parents and what they showed me love was, which ultimately is truly abuse. So my views of what love were completely distorted, and I had to grow up and realize what love should be rather than what it was growing up.
Thank you. That was a great answer. I appreciate that. And I'm going to go ahead and say we need 200 more likes on this video. 200 more likes on this video, or else we might just need to pause this whole thing. You dig? I shouldn't even have to ask. This is true game inspiration and meaningful information. How do we not have more likes on this joint right here? Super chat. This chick needs to understand that masculine men do not want masculine women. We ain't it.
Well,
Feminism turns feminine women into masculine women.
Listen,
that was a super chat.
If working a full-time job and taking care of my kids makes me masculine, slap yourself, because that was my choice. That was.
What if he's talking about that mouth though?
That was the outcome. Do you understand the outcome? Do people not understand the journey and destination? Do people not understand cause and effect? Do people not understand causality? Do people not understand correlation? Slap yourself. Read a book.
Okay, now that he's went ahead and slapped himself, Bashar sent in a Cash App, and it reads, feminism is responsible for the murder of 20 million black babies.
I'm not even going to address that.
Cool. Then we're going to keep rolling then. We're going to roll on to the next super chat since you're not addressing it, which is...
that is asinine. I'm not going to deal with no asinine.
Okay, she said that's asinine. Understandable.
Not tonight.
If there are super chats that we missed, go ahead and please rechat them right now. We're going to open up the questions that you super chat to Annalicia. I think I may have gotten to all of them as far as I can see. Please forgive me if I missed your super chats. There's obviously a lot of chats going through. Jabrizi Magic writes, anyone notice how she speaks highly of men when they make a lot of money? I notice. She ain't giving me my respect, but I did notice.
I disrespected the guy that was making $2 million. I was patronizing him. Cut it out. You hear what you want to hear.
Why would you disrespect anybody? He was so respectful to you.
Because I felt like it. His responses to me were disrespectful. His question was disrespectful. Oh God.
Whoa, okay. Black Ocean super chats. She keeps saying that men are always leaving women, except in reality, men are more likely to stay in marriages, and women initiate 70% of divorces. Again, with
Where
the data,
do the
what are
kids
you
go?
saying?
Where do the kids go? Yo, cut it out. Don't throw out some nonsense statistic and think
now, where do the kids go? You're just talking about feminism.
The kids go with their mothers.
Why? Because y'all got a check from the state. Because you get a check from.
You know why? Because mothers are taking care of them. They're taking on most of the domestic load. What are you talking about? They're bringing them to school. They're picking them up. They're making dinner. They're giving them baths, putting them to bed. That is why. Cut it out. Cut it out.
And Alicia, as soon as they let you out of Canadian jail, I'm gonna come up there and I'm gonna wear that ass out. You're gonna be the most pleasant woman that these men have ever seen.
Cut it out, please.
You are so lit right now.
Statistics for that.
You are so lit.
How many divorced men end up with their kids? What's the stat for that? How many end up staying in their lives after the divorce? What's the stat?
Christopher Lyles writes, tell her I love her. So Annalicia.
What?
I love you.
Who said that? Christopher?
I said it. You heard me? You just heard me say it.
Christopher said it. I love you too, Christopher. Come to my channel. Let's have a conversation, please.
And slap yourself, Christopher. Don't forget that part.
Don't slap yourself. Don't slap yourself.
Slap yourself.
You're okay.
Aristides writes, we just Dr. Filler. Okay. Let's see what other super chats we have.
You wasted your money for that?
NBA fan writes, super chat, correction, black men make more than black women, and all races of...
Thank you.
Whoa,
you.
whoa, okay. You want me to read it or no? Can I
Go
read
ahead.
it?
Go ahead.
Okay. Super chat. Correction. Black men make more than black women, and all races of women have more education than their men on aggregate. That's quite interesting. Do you have any comments on that, Robert or Annalicia?
You know what's funny?
Black make, yeah. So in the black community, there obviously is a totem pole, and black men are at the top of that totem pole. And obviously, your economic standing is going to reflect where you are in your community and where you are socially. So yes, black men do make more than black women.
That's not
And
necessarily
that is why when black men are not there, women are run ragged. We're working 2 or 3 jobs in order to fill the role that the man was supposed to fill.
men make more than women on average in every race. It's not just black.
Did I say that? Did I say that? We're
No,
talking about the black
but
community.
I'm just
talking about black men, right?
yes, yes. But listen, but it's not just because of race. I mean, that's that.
You're not listening. It's not because of race. Obviously, it's not because of race. Because
Okay, so we've addressed that super chat. Thank you very much for that. We're going to carry on to the next super chat. I appreciate the high level of engagement here. Super chat from Black Ocean.
The ignorance is I'm apoplectic. It's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. Disgusting with these people, man. Absolutely disgusting.
These people? You talking about
ignorant people. Ignorant people.
Creole and Cajun Living writes that's false.
You should have elaborated because we done moved on. What are you talking about?
Yum GN writes #be #soft ladies, which means cool the fuck out. I don't know if she might be talking to somebody on this panel.
Feel my skin. I have soft skin. I am soft. What does that even mean?
You might have soft skin, but you got a hard head.
Listen, only the strong survive where I'm from. You don't like it? I don't know what to tell you.
But see, that's the problem. You're thinking about surviving instead of thriving. If you get under some male leadership, we can teach you how to thrive. You're subsisting rather than winning.
Male leadership is what instilled.
No.
Nice try.
No. Here's the problem.
Two males.
You're under 2 different. Well, that's why I'm trying to get you under this ism. You heard me? You need to see about this ism.
Okay. Believe me, Jim Jones, I'll be all right.
Cassidy Music writes super chat. Feminists are out of touch with their feminine nature. Wow. Most probably a symptom of hatred toward themselves because of bad decisions. That's deep in the past and not having the ability to take accountability. Ooh, okay. Cassidy Music, okay. You ain't never lied, Cassidy.
Let me explain something to you. We are playing the cards we are dealt. Do you understand what that means? That means we have to make the best of our situations. This is what the lack of accountability looks like. You guys want to see what it looks like? That's what it looks like. It means we leave. We don't step up to the plate. We don't work. We don't get our education. Not having accountability means that you leave and you don't deal with the situation. However dire, however difficult the situation is, that is what no accountability looks like. That is what men do.
Thank you. And Ty Worth a Bill, Sylvester writes super chat. So women do no wrong?
That
was very timely.
Is that a real question?
It was.
That's his real question.
That's a real question.
I mean, I'm going to speak for myself. Definitely. I've already prefaced a lot of what I said with the fact that I am an imperfect person. I have a lot of work to do on myself. I have introspection and insight into who I am as an individual and as to who I aspire to be as an individual in the near future. Women are not perfect. Of course, we're not perfect. No one is perfect. But what I'm saying to you is you're looking at the outcome of women having to work and take on what you guys deem, and this is what you guys create these definitions and these labels. We have to step into the role of the breadwinner, the head of household, because we're the only head in the household. The responsibility and the burden falls upon us. And because it falls upon us and we're dealing with it, you guys are indicting us and you guys are saying that we're the problem. Instead of saying, okay, well, I mean, what happened? Instead of breaking down the situation, instead of looking at cause and effect, instead of looking at the external factors and the internal factors that got the person where they are, you say, this is what you want. You just want to be a man. You don't want to submit. You just want to work and make all the money and make all the decisions. No, We want you to carry your weight. We can carry our weight and your weight. And if you look at the statistics, they're indicative of that. We're carrying a lot of weight. I'm sorry if you don't like the reality of the situation. The reality of the situation doesn't align with what you feel as being a man, what masculinity means, with what you think being head of. I'm sorry. The reality does not align with your theories. So catch up, tomato. Evolve. You got to learn. You have to, you got to grow as an individual. When it doesn't align, you have to investigate and examine it and see why it's not working and try to figure out how to remedy it instead of looking at the woman and indicting her for doing what she has to do.
Got it. Thank you for that. And the next super chat, NBA World writes, men aren't concerned with women that make money. Men are concerned with men like her. Also, it's been proven statistically, guys are the better parent. Uh-oh, shots fired. I'm going to read that one more time. As it's written, men aren't concerned with women that make money. Men are concerned with men like her. I'm not sure what that sentence means. That might be a typo. They continue writing. Also, it's been proven statistically, guys are the better parents.
Okay. Do you know why? Does he know why?
Well, why don't you tell him? I mean, he doesn't know anything, apparently. None of us know anything.
I'm going to give you some homework. Go look into the factors and the variables as to why that is. Go ahead. I'll be here.
Duchess of Essex writes, slap yourself.
Have a conversation with me. Go ahead. You guys are real ignorant.
Robert, did you have any notes on that?
On which part? Which part? I mean, realistically, she's been saying the same thing, and I mean, like, we've heard it. You know what I mean? You're like, you got to check yourselves. I mean, I hear you. Really, like you said, we got to check the reality. We got to see the reality. It is what it is. It is what it is. That's just not how we're Renaissance men over here.
It is what it is.
Nah.
It is what it is. I'm not going to be accountable. It is what it is. No.
You're saying that we should look at
it. It is because of what? It is what it is because of. See, that's the problem. Instead of you saying why is it the way it is, let's look into that. You look at the woman and you say, you deal with it. You fix it. You were the problem. You don't know the solutions. You want to be a man, so you fix it. But you don't look at why. You don't look at the cause or the variables. You're simple and narrow-minded. Slap yourself too.
Creole and Cajun living. A female writes, she has an attitude. I'm assuming she's talking about you.
What's her name? Creole,
So
there's nothing wrong with having an attitude. Don't let anybody lie to you. I can employ humility. I can employ femininity. I can do it all. I have many hats.
See, not only can you employ it, I actually know that you really want to do that. It's funny too because you do keep.
Wait, what?
You want to be feminine. You want to be feminine. You want to be maternal. Really, you pointed out.
I am maternal. Yeah. I am maternal. Innately, I am maternal.
You're fighting the hell out of it. I'm
fighting my maternal nature.
You're fighting.
I'm sorry. Did I push you out of my body? How do you know that?
Look.
No. Answer the question. How do you know?
Because you don't want to be working as hard as you are to support your daughter, son, whatever it may be, by yourself. I know you don't want to.
What does that have to do?
You gotta stop the camera every 10 minutes just to go and handle some shit right now.
Why are you talking about my maternal side? That's nothing. Listen.
Could you give him a chance to talk though? Like I would say, I haven't been on camera, but he hasn't really gotten a chance to talk. Would it be fair to give him a chance to talk a little bit?
You're right.
Well, these are questions too. These are statements in general. I'm just trying to have a conversation with you, man. I mean, you start off on 100, man. I'm trying to keep it with you right there. But to tell you the truth, I ain't really vibing with it, man. I'm not really vibing with it. But what I do vibe with is the fact that I see you do have a passion. I see you trying to figure this shit out. I'm gonna let you know right now. A lot of men, as far as where we're coming from, would look at this like, how can I help this woman? She's making it so hard. She's making it damn near impossible. You feel me? Even if a man did have money, even if a man had all the money, hold on, really understanding, looking at you and your background, where you came from, what might have happened with your ex and everything like that. Even if he did all of that, what would you even be able to do with that? Would you be able to do anything with that? Do you even want that?
Is that your real question?
That's a real ass question, and I think the brother earlier asked the same thing.
And you didn't listen to the answer, or it didn't fit your narrative of who you think I am and who you want me to be. Is that
Nah,
it?
I just sounded sorry, love. I'll just be real. Like instead of
I'll answer your question. That's
yeah.
fine. So Robert, what I want is I want to be in a relationship with someone who I want an equilibrium. I want balance. I want stability. I do not want to have to do everything, because this is you're saying it like it's a bad thing. Like, you don't want to do. Do you want to do everything? Do men want to do? No, nobody wants to do anything and run themselves ragged and stretch themselves too thin, where they're not able to produce and be as productive as they can in any area of life, especially parenting. I do not want to run myself ragged. I do not want to stretch myself too thin. I want to be. I want balance. I want equilibrium, and I want stability. I want accountability.
Cool. And I appreciate that answer. That was a great, succinct answer, Robert. I appreciate you joining on Saint, standing tall for so long. Appreciate you. We're going to merge in a few more of the Saints shortly. But before we do that, I want to get to a real tough question. And Annalicia, I can tell you that I've been around this world many times. You heard me? Every culture. I am very experienced. I have never been anywhere and seen a good-looking woman with a good attitude who is also single. Those three things never fit together. Good looking, good attitude, and single. They never fit together like that. So undoubtedly, can we acknowledge today that there are probably some things that are not checking off well in terms of your ability to get along well with others? Because I find you to be very combative in a way that turns me off from the true beauty that I know you have, because you're an educated woman, you're well-spoken, you're spunky, you're tough, you're good looking, you have all these great qualities, but your veneer is so harsh. A high-value man wouldn't want to invest the time to get through that thick armor. So like, talk to me.
I don't know how, I don't speak Japanese. I could say it in French or Spanish. I don't know how many times I have to tell you that, you know, this is who I am, but this is not ultimately who I want to be in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years. I'm a work in progress. I feel like the minute that anyone stops growing and stops evolving and stops changing, you're not really alive. I have plans for myself as an individual. I have plans for who I am as a person, and that includes growing and evolving, and that includes having a. Oh, come on! Oh my gosh!
Yeah. And you know what? I have a lot of respect for the fact that you said, hey, I'm not a finished product right now. I still have things that I need to grow on. That's a very mature thing for you to say. So I respect that. It's very humble. But I also want to remind you that I can look at you and estimate your age. And even if you were 25, which you're not, but if you were 25, you don't have time like that. You said, I'm not the person I might want to be in 6 years. Time don't go like that. You ain't got 6 years in you. And I'm saying that just to be real with you. In 6 years, guys ain't going to want you at all in 6 years. That's way too old. So you need to lock down a guy right now if I'm being real with you. What I'm saying to you is, why not put aside all the bullshit, which is all this combative nature, and do what you need to do to get a guy, which is to comply. You're going to continue improving. Self-improvement is going to continue, but you need compliance. That's easy to do. Why can't we start there?
Let me say something to that. I hope to be 70. I hope to be 70 years old. And I hope to be still in a place of evolution, still in a place of self-growth, still in a place of learning and growing and changing. The only constant in life that we can rely on is change. I don't care how old you are. I don't care what your circumstances are. If you are emotionally, psychologically, economically stagnant, you're not alive. So I'm not going to live my life, and I'm definitely not going to, rearrange the way that I feel about developing who I am as a person, changing and growing within the constraints of your views.
Right.
I think that I'm going to be a different person in a year from now. I think that even when you're in a relationship, people change, individuals change in the relationships.
I
and
agree.
As a result, the relationship evolves. Stagnance is death. So
okay, so you said that a couple times. So now that you've repeated that a couple times, I want to hop in and acknowledge that it's kind of strange that your thinking informs your action. So if you were so good at thinking and figuring out how life should be lived, if your philosophy was so sound,
I never
why
said
is
it was sound.
Hold on, because I'm telling you it's not sound. Because
but
if it was sound, it would have yielded better outcomes. It's clearly yielded poor outcomes. So if you executed on a failed belief system, which came from your head and you leading yourself, why is it that you're not willing to make the change to update? And I know the answer. That's a rhetorical question. The reason is because you are stuck being you and you've become comfortable living in a broken situation. And in this case, a broken home. And you think, oh, go ahead.
How can you call someone comfortable and complacent when they're advocating for evolution and change? Listen, I never told you, I never said I was Nostradamus. I can speak to my experiences as a human, as a woman, and based on my plight and the things I've experienced, I can speak to that. And I can speak to that with insight and with knowledge. I never told you that I have all the answers. I never told you that when I started my journey as a mother, when I started my journey as someone's partner, as someone's wife, as someone's girlfriend, I never told you that I had all the answers. That I've never once said that. And I would be extremely misinformed to ever tell anybody that that's how I feel. I have always come from a place of, I don't really, this situation is new to me, but I'm going to learn and I'm going to adapt.
Well, you haven't been talking on this stream like you don't have all the answers. You said that you're not Nostradamus, but I damn near want to nickname you Google because you got the answer to everything. They used to have a search engine called Ask Jeeves. I guess we need to call it Ask Annalicia because you got the answer to everything. I've seen 100 wise men come on this stream, and every single time, even the female who came on this stream, you wouldn't take any light. It's like you were combative every time. You wouldn't take any light from anybody. Like, that's what's making me a little, like, kind of like standoffish. Like, whoa, like Shorty won't take advice from nobody. Like, you think she's got it all figured out.
I've taken light. There are individuals that have come on here that have asked questions or that have given insights that I have. There is information that I've retained and that I've put stock on, and I've put credence on things that people have said.
Tell me one good idea you want to use in your life. Just one thing you said, you know what, that's one thing I want to use in my life.
Based on what? Based on the conversations?
Based on the 3 hours you've been debating.
One thing that I want to start to implement in my life as a result of this.
I'm going to repeat this one more time, simply. What, out of the 3 hours you've been debating, since you said you've accepted some level of light from someone, what is one thing that anyone has said that made you say, you know, I'm gonna implement that one thing in my life to make my situation better?
I don't know if it's a matter of implementing, but it's for me if I learned something that I didn't know previously, it's beneficial. A lot of people came on here and said things that I really had no understanding or awareness of. I didn't know that it existed. Just in terms of perception and ideologies. So I'm grateful to have learned something in that respect. Something that I'm going to take away from this is, I think being able to hear people objectively and letting people say whatever it is that they have to say, and I can't be my inner child. I can't always be, a hard exterior person. I think I want to be a little bit more malleable. That's what I've learned. That's what
I have a lot of respect for that. And I thank you for that note. We're going to do two things. I'm going to read this comment, and then I'm going to introduce the saint. Classic Ruby, a female, writes, for real? Is she for real from Canada?
I am.
Because I don't know any chicks who think like her and behave like her. So your Canadians is selling you out, Shorty. You better get you a plane ticket to these United States of America. I know a bunch of feminists in Los Angeles and San Francisco that'll support you. Anyways, we have the Lord on the call. Caleb Edgehill, how are you, Saint?
Peace to the saints. Peace to the saints.
Absolutely.
And Alicia, peace to you as well. Thank you for being on this call.
Peace and love.
I'm going to be brief. Don't want to take up too much time. I know that you have a good understanding of psychology, and I noticed that you talk a lot in terms of the system and there being systemic problems. My question comes from a psychological standpoint, and the question is, determining your locus of control. Do you think that a internal locus of control is more powerful or an external one, like the environment?
I think that. What's your name?
My name is Lord Caleb.
Caleb. Okay. You know what? Let me adhere. Lord Caleb. I think that it's really important for you as a man and you as an individual to try to see them working they work in tandem. And I'm gonna give you an example. You can have 2 children, and there have been studies. Let's say 2 twins. One was adopted into an affluent family with a lot of economic mobility, stability, social support, just a well-off family. And one can be raised in an extremely volatile situation, in an extremely deprived and poverty-ridden situation. These are twins who are genetically, they're the same genetically, right, but their environments are so different that their outcomes are going to reflect their environments. So the genes, like I've said, the genes are the gun and the environment is the trigger. Could you have a gun without a trigger, and could you have a trigger without a gun? Can that exist in the same realm? That's my you can't. What is theory without practice? What is practice without theory? You can't have one without the other. I understand that for men especially, and people who really negate accountability and just say, you know what, it's you. It makes it a lot easier because you really don't have to take a dive into what's happening around you, and a lot of that is educating yourself. I'm not talking about formally in an institution. Educating yourself could mean reading. It's interacting with people who look
20
like
seconds more on this one. 20 seconds more.
Who don't look like you. It comes from having an understanding of your plight and someone else's plight, and seeing where there's a convergence and where there's an intersectionality and where your plights do connect. You can't have one without the other. You don't live in that world. So
okay.
That's my answer.
I appreciate that. I hear what you're saying. Thank you for that. I'm gonna take that insight and build on that for my evolution and my story. Shout out to the Saints and the Sinner Nation. Shout out to Annalicia, and you guys hold it down. Thank you for your time.
Peace and love, brother.
Crowder, what it do, Saint?
Shalom in the home.
Crowder, you on? Talk to us.
What's going on? How you doing today?
I'm feeling like a million Bitcoin. How are you?
I'm doing all right.
What's on your mind?
So, first of all, I just want to, apologize to her for all this, craziness that's going on through in the chat. But first and foremost, I want to say, I understand pretty much your whole dynamic in regards to why you feel what you feel. I've been married before. I am a police officer, so I have to deal with domestic violence and stuff like that on a daily basis. So the way that this sort of mindset that you have actually culminates into real life, especially when it comes to this dynamic between a man and a woman, it leads to quite a bit of violence, especially with a man who doesn't know how to control himself, and a woman who doesn't know how to control her mouth. So I feel like you should be more careful when coming to other women with this sort of mindset, because a man does think a certain way, regardless of if I like it, regardless of if you like it. And then are going to be men, like I said, who they can control themselves, but you can't hold everyone to that same standard because they're not always going to have the same outcome. So
okay,
my question to you is how do you find that balance within yourself when addressing other women about how to, actually deal with this sort of dynamic between a man and a woman?
How do I deal with women?
No, how do you address, the violent aspect of dealing with men? Because, he actually talked about it earlier about, there is a size difference. There's a mindset difference, right? And women have a tendency, at least with, my experience, to antagonize a man verbally to the point where it does lead to that in a lot of cases. Like, there are very few situations where there's a man who's just doing his thing, being, super dickish towards a woman, and the woman is just sitting there and she's all, butterfly like, and she's not doing a damn thing. Usually there's a lot of aggression coming from that woman that leads to that aggression coming from that man.
Usually, you said usually. Do you have statistical? Do you have any stats to support and bolster that? That's a real. I mean, that if you're making that statement, I want to see.
That man is a goddamn police officer. He said he's a police officer.
No, but what are the statistics?
Okay, so 60% of domestic violence cases are actually created by the man, right? 40% by the women. But you would think, by this whole logic that the man is always the aggressor, that those statistics would be 70%, 73% to be specific. Like
60 is greater than 40, but okay, let's go on. Go on.
Yeah, it is. But if you look at how aggressive men are, just from, testosterone alone, you wouldn't think that it would be that close, because 60 and 40 is actually very close. Just like 73 and 28% would be, right?
Sorry, what is
And
your
some
question?
of y'all know what that 73% to 28%. The question is when you address women in regards to keeping and sustaining the mindset in which you do have, because again, men are only going to tolerate this sort of dynamic for so long before they get fed up with it. How do you help them understand that dealing with a man, you need to have at least a low level of submissiveness towards him? Otherwise, it can lead to high aggression.
Okay, so I mean, I don't deal with. I mean, there are women in my shelter that are, their husbands have tried to kill them. Their ex-husbands. They're like literally hunting for these women. The conversations that I have with them, I mean, they're ultimately powerless, and they're kind of going from shelter to shelter to, try to get away. So I mean, men have a lot of power. And even when you look at the domestic, the actual fighting, men are physically stronger, and their ability to snap a woman's neck, their ability to, knock them out, punch them and their heads hit. I mean, manslaughter, accidental deaths, whatever. I mean, disproportionate.
Let me translate. I'm gonna translate. I'm
speaking English.
No, I'm about to interrupt real quick. I'm about to interrupt because it doesn't sound like you're going anywhere meaningful right now. So I'm interrupting. What he said was very polite, and I think I might be translating it right. But if not, this is the question: how do you keep from getting your ass kicked with that big ass mouth? I think that's what he was trying to say. With that big ass mouth, how do you stop from a man ending up kicking your ass? That's what he was trying to say.
Is that what you're trying to say?
Not exactly, but I understand.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. How do you have women?
Okay, so let me put it simple.
Say what you mean.
A lot of these situations, Okay, so let me put it like this. A lot of these situations are like this. The woman pokes, she pokes, she pokes, she pokes, she pokes, she pokes. She threatens to take the kids. She actually does take the kids, and violence ensues, right? Like, from what I've seen, women generally know how to push the buttons. And there are a lot of men that I have been put in a situation where I've had to tell them, she has the kids in the house. You can't go in there and take the kids from her, even though y'all have the same rights. And since y'all have no court order, I cannot tell her to give you the kids, right? So I've been put in situations where I've had to tell a grown man that he is not allowed to see his children, because you as a woman have that power to initiate you taking the kids away from him. And until a judge within that state or that jurisdiction decides that he is allowed to see his kids, He is absent from their lives. So what I'm trying to get you to understand is
It
that
doesn't work like
it's
that
not.
here. It doesn't
It's
work like that here. But okay.
okay. I'm in Georgia, so this is how it works in the South. Okay.
Then I can't really speak to that because I'm
okay.
It's different.
We're gonna have to go on to the next question.
Okay.
Saint Crowder, I appreciate your patience, Saint. I appreciate you coming on and being man enough to share your details and even share your line of work. That takes a lot. I appreciate that, Saint. I would love to let you get the whole question out, but we got 10 folks waiting in the studio. Thank you so much for giving us the time, Saint.
I appreciate it, man. You have a good one.
Absolutely, you too. Annalicia, let's just knock out a few of these super chats, and you've been a hell of a sport. I'm so thankful for your patience and your time. Super chat. She admitted that she had to take accountability for the baggage from her childhood environment. So again, which I respect, and we all should do that. So again, it comes to the individual. Why should taxpayers take account for the baggage? Do you have a 30-second response to that one?
So I'm taking accountability for the baggage, but the baggage is my childhood. The baggage is the environment. The baggage is the circumstances under which I was raised. And a lot of that has to do with the access that my mother didn't have. A lot of it has to do with being pushed in the margins and being criminalized as a Black family, being marginalized as a Black family, and not having the access to vital resources to tap into to really change our economic outcome. That's why.
So should white people have to help you out with that if they're the ones who created the problem? They're the ones who are going to solve it?
This is a society. If you want to continue to put a Band-Aid on it.
No, I'm asking. You're saying that white people created the problem. They also have to solve your problem?
If you are going to put a Band-Aid and you're going to say, hey, that's the solution. You want to put a Band-Aid on a gaping wound and you expect it's not going to heal. So everyone has to deal with the ramifications. When a kid goes on a shooting spree, everybody deals with the ramifications of it. So
got it. Tywortha Bill Sylvester writes.
We are responsible for children.
She's crying out for help.
We are responsible for our children. Yes, we are as a society. It takes a village.
Devontae Smith. And by the way, I'm about to bring a lady onto the call, bring a female on, because we definitely want to keep it as balanced as possible when we can. And by the way, Devontae, if you are a male with a female photo, please, we would be thankful if you wouldn't do that.
Why? Why would you do that?
Because we don't get down like that out here.
No, why would they do it? I said.
Oh, okay, all right. I was about to say, yeah. Devontae Smith, a prime example of why men go MGTOW. No, we don't condone MGTOW either.
I know. What is that an acronym for?
MGTOW means men going their own way. That's gay. We don't go that way.
I don't
Carrying on. But we appreciate the super chats. Oh, wait, that wasn't even a super chat. Thank you for your comment. If there are any other super chats, we will address them as we're winding down. I'm going to merge in Bum Cherry. Bum Cherry. How are you?
I'm fine. How you doing?
I'm well. Thank you for joining us. What's on your mind?
Wow, I have so much to say. So first of all, this young lady, you seem to have an attitude. And I think tomorrow, when you look at the stream, you're going to regret it. Because, see, I know women like you, beautiful women, right? Beautiful women know how to tap in when you men. You see how she switched it up before? She knew everything. When she realized she's being beat down with information, now she switched up to where I'm hurt. I've been hurt so much. And the only reason you men are putting up with it is because she is a beautiful young woman. If she wasn't beautiful, a beautiful young woman, y'all would have kicked this woman. Y'all wouldn't even be listening to her if we were honest.
Go ahead.
She know it herself. Don't you know this? You know,
I don't concede. I don't agree with anything that you're saying. But
you know that you wouldn't be able to put the trash that you put out if you wasn't a beautiful woman, a woman who the men will follow just to look at you.
I feel like I have something of substance to say. I don't think that I'm talking out of my ass.
You have already admitted that most of the things you said earlier, you didn't know what you were saying. Did you not admit that but a few minutes ago?
Hold on. Sorry. What's your name?
Did you say sir?
I said, sorry. What's your name?
Oh, see, and this is what she's been doing all night. When she don't have an answer, she stop you, and then she say, "What? Sorry, what's your name? What does it matter?"
I want to address you by your name. That's why I do that. I like to talk to like it's a conversation. Like I
No, you've been doing that all night. You don't even need to know my name.
You know what? Don't tell me what your name is. I'll give you my own name. Is that what you want?
Yeah, you can call me whatever you want. But what I'm saying to you, young lady, is this: you look like you have an issue, right? You sound angry, and I hope you're not educating other young women with your anger, because that's what the MGTOW men are doing. They're teaching the young men about their anger, and I hope you're not teaching the young women about your anger. If you support families, then you need to handle your anger before you want to use your voice, because you have these men upset at you even though they don't want to be, because they like looking at you.
I don't actually care about that. But let me interject. You're gonna have to rewind the tape. I don't know if you just started listening from the beginning.
I've been here for a couple of hours.
From the beginning, I have been someone who says I am imperfect. That's one of the first things that I really did say when I started talking about who I am as an individual.
Now you playing the game. Everybody's imperfect. So what's your point?
No, hold on. Let me finish talking.
You're playing with me. I'm not the one to be played with, sweetie. We're gonna have a conversation. Let's have a real conversation. No one is perfect. So by you admitting that you're not perfect, is you don't even have to say that to anyone.
No, I don't have to say. I say what I want to say. I said that.
Yes, you can.
Can I talk?
I'm interrupting you like you were doing these men the whole time.
So you're a man. You want to be a man? Okay, be the man.
No, you the one acting like a man. So you think you feminine because
we're both being a man. So we're both being we're both being the man then.
I'm actually talking to a woman right now. I'm not referring to these men in a negative way. So why would I be a man because I'm smacking down a woman who don't know how to? You don't know how to be feminine. You don't know anything about submission. And I'm not saying you have to submit, because some of these men, they're not getting submission because they don't know how to get that from a woman. When they learn, then they will get that. You understand? Even from a strong woman like yourself. A man who knows how to take control, he don't have to get permission from a woman for her to be submitted, to be submissive to him. He just is. He is the man. He is in control. He knows how to do that. And when he come home and asks his wife to do something, she gonna know that she needs to do it. You see, but that comes with your knowledge as well. So right now you're young, so you're probably like, I don't have to do what you want me to do. I don't have to cook. I'm a person too. Well, when you're in a relationship, he's a person too, right? So I agree with some of the things you said about individuality, and I agree with your definition on, being equal or equality. See, I was here for a while, so I heard you. I agree with some of the things you say, but I know you. I know young women like you. I was a young woman at one point, and I understand that knowledge. As I matured, my thinking changed. If you put your family first, then if that man is a part of your family, then where do you put him? Why you always got to be in front? Why you always got to come first?
Who told you? Listen. I'm sorry, caller. First of all, from the I prefaced my position with, I am a flawed and imperfect individual. I didn't leave it. No, stop.
Okay, go ahead.
You had the floor. Let me talk. I didn't leave.
Say something if you're gonna talk. Say something.
Leave it there, but I didn't leave it there. I said why. I said the circumstances in which I was raised under have.
Everybody have circumstances.
No,
how old are you right now?
I'm talking about everybody.
Wait a minute. Listen. That's it. We're not talking about everyone. See how she's talking about me. So this is my thing. Everybody has a situation.
I'm being asked questions. I'm accounting
but
for myself.
The answers you're giving is not what I asked you, though. You're not gonna play with me like you've been playing with these men.
You're playing yourself.
No, you playing yourself.
You have a message of a question. What are you doing?
See that you don't understand what I've said to you so far.
What are you trying to say? You're not letting me.
I'm trying to say that you who don't know yourself, why are you Why are you attempting to educate anyone, whether it's male or female?
So me telling you that I need to work on myself, and there are things about my own self that I have identified and I don't like and I want to change. You think I don't have an idea of who I am? Cut it out.
Yeah, no, I don't think you know who you are. You have flipped and re-identified yourself a few times on this panel alone. First, you know everything. The men giving you suggestions, ideas, even asking you questions. You wouldn't hear what they had to say. You was interrupting them. You wouldn't let some of them talk at all. And that's because you have an attitude. This man on side of you will say, well, let me take control, answer the question. You're not answering any of the questions anybody posing in front of you.
I'm not answering it the way that you like me to answer it. That's on you.
No, you're not answering the question. You know, if someone asks you a question, you don't circle around and not give an answer. You're just talking words. You're speaking words, but you're not giving any knowledge. You're not sharing anything. You're playing with these men. And I understand. Look, I'm not even hating on you for playing with these men. You're a beautiful young lady.
Listen, this is the problem. This is the problem. You're making accusatory statements, but I've already admitted it. I've already said.
And Alicia, I'm gonna give you the last 30 seconds
I can be
on this.
spicy and divisive. I've already said I can be combative. He called me combative, and I agreed. So you're not saying there's nothing revelatory about what you're telling me.
So are you going to take accountability? That's the question. Just you saying it and admit it, but you're not taking accountability. If you know it, why you're not changing it?
So how do you think change works? How do you think I could go like this? You think I'm gonna
well, as soon as some, you know what? If this young man say, hey, Bomb, you're talking too loud, and I would say, oh, I know I talk loud, and I would just drop it down a few decimals. See, that's how change works. When somebody pointed out that you're doing what you claim that you do and you don't want to do, then you correct it right away. Auto correct it. At least look like you're trying to change. You just don't admit I'm loud and continue to be loud.
Bomb Cherry, I tell you, I appreciate you coming on this live stream and sharing some wisdom because you have experience. And I appreciate that so much. And I also appreciate you being a straight shooter because we've all benefited from how you just had this conversation. So, hey, if you haven't been around the Saints before, we need you to stick around. You heard me.
Yes, thank you for having me. And beautiful young lady, you are a beautiful young lady. Smile more. And yeah, you don't have to be, because you are beautiful. These men are listening to you because the way you look. But right now, you look angry in the face. I'm not even lying. Right now, you look like you have about 10 years put on you just by the way you.
Listen, I'm not going to act like I'm happy with the things that you said. So
you ain't got to be happy.
I'm not gonna do a song and dance because you want me to. I don't like the things that you said. My face is reflecting.
You said you wanted to change, and yet now you're saying you're not gonna change because I want you to. I thought you said you wanted to change.
Reflecting my displeasure with our discourse. If you don't
see how you just changed that up real quick.
I can't. I don't.
You got 10 years younger just now. See how she did that?
Sorry.
Okay. Well, anyway, continue doing whatever it is you do. You know, I don't know how many kids you're raising, but you're gonna have to change. I hope they're not boys, and even if they're girls.
Change is the plan. Change is constant, of course.
Okay. Well, good luck with that, babe. I'm out.
Thank you so much for joining us. Absolutely, and you better stick around too.
I will. I'm here.
All right, I see you. And speaking of change, we have a super chat. Her ovation, since through the super chat and writes, she wants change but can't apply it in this convo. An ironic comment in line with the last saint who was speaking, the lady saint. But one thing I will tell you on a serious note, Annalicia, is that your smile will do wonders in any situation. A smile definitely lightens it up. And I agree with her on that account. If nothing else, I think you'd be able to accept that one. And I'm going to tell you, you tough, though. You tough. I mean, you are tough. There's no doubt about that. Preston, since through the big time super chat, writes, she's very disrespectful. It's a shame she's not using her time on the Sassin platform wisely. It's a therapy session, and she needs to pay the big homie.
Forget about it.
Let's
do, but I just please.
Okay.
I know.
We're gonna go ahead and read these last couple super chats really quickly. I think we read that one. Super chat. She's alpha widowed and is taking it out on other men until she gets that Chad or Tyrone to blow her back out. Curious.
Why Tyrone? Come on, man.
Curious. Okay. Super chat. If she met her ideal man, will she submit to him and follow his lead? Quick yes or no.
Will I submit to him?
The super chat reads, if she met her ideal man, will she submit to him and follow his lead?
Submission being I take care of house and home. I don't work. He pays the bills.
Whatever your terms are, let him know. Go ahead and give him the answer real quick.
No. Submission. What is his? I don't know what his definition of submission is.
My definition of submission is that your man will be the final say, and you will also be cooking and cleaning and maintaining the house, whether you work or not.
Am I going to be working as well?
Whether you work or not. Like, for example, with me, I could afford for you not to work, but I would still have you work because there's not enough housework in the world to keep a woman busy for a whole day.
Okay,
based on that definition, submissive or not.
If I'm working, we're co-captains. What's next?
Got it. Okay, cool. We're going to go ahead and end this thing the way we always end this thing, with the creed of the assassin. We need to go ahead and get her to bed. We're going to merge everyone in so we can go ahead and hit the creed of the assassin and shut this thing down. I do want to acknowledge Kevin McKinney, who sent through the Cash App. He writes, is she trying to argue or to understand? He follows up writing, I want to know if she's ever wrong. Are you ever wrong?
If I'm not wrong, I'm not able to learn anything.
Okay, she says that yes, she's wrong because she's wrong sometimes because she needs to learn. Robert writes, she'd be hard to talk to on a daily basis. Well, hey, Saint, you got lucky because this won't be every day. Regardless, before we get into the creed of the assassin, I do want to give a big shout out to Annalicia, because despite all the comedy, despite all the teasing, this woman is tough as nails, and I'm so honored to have her here. And I don't know many males who could last a couple hours with what she had to deal with. So shout out to Annalicia, tremendous amount of respect. We're going to hit the creed of the assassin. We're going to end the live stream. And Annalicia, if you give me just 2 minutes just to kind of, one-on-one wind down with you after that. Is that cool?
Yeah.
Cool. Fantastic. The creed of the assassin. And Saints, I apologize we couldn't get to your questions, but we've been on for 3.5 hours. We got to wind this down. Please honor me with the creed of the assassin. Repeat after me, knowing that this is true of you wherever you may be. Say this with conviction. The creed of the assassin. I am going to be who I truly am because I am remarkable.
I am going to be who I truly am because I am remarkable.
And I'm going to strive every moment to show the greatest part of who I am.
And I'm going to strive every
moment
to show the greatest part of who I am.
And show the greatest part of who I am.
Hey, Saints, I appreciate you all being with me. To the 1,500 folks we still have online, thank you all for being with us. Please know that you are truly remarkable and continue to show the greatest part of who you are. I apologize for not being able to get everyone included, but we can only go so long. Saints, please be with us next time. Peace to the Saints.
See you at the conference.
I'll see you there.